Hello, hello. What is up, chat? Happy Friday. We made it. We made it to Friday. You all did it. I'm proud of you. Good job. Happy Friday. What is up, everybody? How's it going? How are we? Yo, Cian Horn, you're probably not here, but dude, thank you for at the start of the stream hitting us with the 5 gifted subbies, my dude. Thank you so much. M. Roberts, Omnicorn, Andrea, Andre. I don't know if it's Andre or Andrea, but thank you. Be sure to thank your gifted subber. Rob Collier, Glaber. Hello, hello. What is up, guys? How's it going? Dinky, how's it going, dude? USMC chick, hello, hello. Yeah, Dinky, I did order it. It is, in fact, on its way. They said it was supposed to be here today, which is weird because I got an email saying that it was out for delivery January 20th. But when I look at the actual shipper people information, like the actual tracking number, it says it's not going to be here until the 23rd, which is Monday. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I got no idea what's going on. What's up, Zummy? How's it going? Happy Friday, dude. Hello, hello. I hope you guys have had a good week. My week has been pretty crazy, to be fair. Yeah, it's been a crazy week. I was actually working on Hippo stuff until around 9 p.m. last night. Partially because it was an outage, or I had to induce a little bit of an outage. Not too heavily, but had to make a little bit of an outage happen. And then on top of that, I was upgrading our Circle CI container agent. Hang on one second. So this is Circle CI's container agent. And the main idea behind this, and this is what we use at Hippo, is we have a Kubernetes cluster, right, that we run. I mean, we have many of them that we run at Hippo, but this is one of them. And this Kubernetes cluster runs what's called their container agent, right? Their container agent. Basically, it's a program that they built to work with Kubernetes. And it does exactly as it says. It goes out to the Kubernetes API to create a task agent within an ephemeral Kubernetes pod, and so forth and so on for all of them. And this is how it schedules self-hosted Kubernetes pods, which is, I mean, again, it's pretty nice. It is very nice to be able to run stuff on Kubernetes. The problem is our agent, we got it because we got invited to the beta before anybody else even knew about it. Like us and a few other companies. And so we were running that beta version. Literally, it was 100 versions old. And so it was a little bit scary just because I like I said, I had to be sure that everything else was okay. And yeah, we rely on our container agent actually quite a bit, which is good. Yo, Faison, what's up, man? How's it going? I am doing well. I hope you're doing well too, man. How are you? Shout out to Faison. How's this streaming been, bud? I've seen you gone live a couple times. Unfortunately, I've not been able to tune in, but I hope the streams have been good. So yeah, I had to upgrade that last night, and so I was working on Hippo stuff until 9 p.m. However, the nice thing about that is that I can stream today, and it's not that big of a deal. Thankfully. So yeah, we're just gonna hop into it because I really wanna learn Rust more for sure. Actually, Faison, I believe you write Rust, right? I want to learn Rust more, but more so, I also want to. Is it at capacity? Holy crap! Did I actually get at a point where I don't normally actually get a capacity thingy? Thank you. Stream was good. Just chilling. 7 viewers at max, and I think I actually like that it's chill. It makes me freak out getting rated by 200 viewers. It's different, man. It's I'm gonna be real. When you get to that level, and I'm not even gonna say that we're always at that level, but when you do get to that level, keep refreshing. Okay. When you get to that level, you do become more of entertainment than you do actually. Hang on one second. Shabam. Thank you, Noob. I appreciate that. I think one thing that's really interesting about it is you have to become an entertainer. At some point you do. You have to look at it and you have to be okay, Am I just sitting here programming, and or am I also like playing a character? And like, don't get me wrong, all of us play characters. We all do. And yeah, like you just get to a point where, you know, you start playing that character more and more and more. And then I think one thing that's, you know, interesting to me is how we all kind of go our, you know, how we've all individualized ourselves a bit and made our own unique content. What's my character? You got to find it, bud. I don't know what your character is. You got to find your character. That's the fun part, man. I didn't. So like, here's the thing is like, I'm a massive rager. Like I rage a lot. Like actually when I'm streaming, or like when I'm by myself and I'm like not talking, I don't know what that means, but I got to delete that message, Cran. I don't know exactly what that means. Yeah, I actually do. I rage a lot. I rage a lot when I'm pissed off, and so, or when I'm like programming and stuff off air. And so when I first started streaming, I thought a lot of that was going to be a part of my like character. But then I don't know, I guess I realized that like I also really like I like solving people's problems. I do. I very much enjoy problem solving. And so that kind of like slowly started to be brought out of me more. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'll read that later. I appreciate that, Grant. So yeah, dude, it's about finding your character. Anyways, how are you doing, Grant? It's about finding your character. Noob, what's up, by the way? How's it going, buddy, too? And again, we all eventually find ours. I don't know. The reason I stream is to show what I do. I answer questions, do my best. And I think you can. I think you can do that. I think what's fun about it is figuring out how, like, again, it's also about what your goals are. You know what I mean? When we first started this, like, we didn't know what we were doing or where we were going at all. And we've just honestly been kind of riding the wave. But it's been a fun one to ride, you know, and one that we chose to. But like, yeah, I guess it really just depends a lot of like what you also want to get out of it. You know what I mean? My real personality is very anxious and withdrawn, so I always have to put on some sort of character when I do public speaking or community engagement. Yeah, I'm a bit the same way. I'm very much like you as well, Faison. Like I guess what I'm also trying to say is like I am very copacetic to just enjoying programming. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting. OpenAI's filter is done by very bad. My character is a baguette. I like it. Dude, you know what? That would probably work really well. Interesting. All right, I will have to look into this later. I'm here to program right now, chat. Okay, I've been dealing with bull for the past like 48 hours. All right, I'm here to program. So that's what I'm gonna do today. What's the H-top thing I was using? It's actually called bottom. Oh, I did not mean to pin that. How am I pinning these things? There we go. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to pin that. Yeah, it's here you go. BTM. Yeah. All right, cool. So, chat, we have a few things that we need to achieve today, and I think I'm going to bring out my Notion to kind of help us here. Hang on. Dope. All right. We got to remember, I have like a bunch of different things open. Okay. So here's what I kind of want to make, and we're going to just say like goals part 1. Part 1. Okay. So here's the first goals that I think we need to do. What's up, Godwill? How's it going, buddy? KO, am I on Nix OS? No, I'm using Nix OS itself. You ready for this? Neo fetch. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's do it the Nix OS way. Bam. There you go. Well, hold on. It's got to build it. You know, the whole process. I know, Cran. You don't got to teach me anymore. Well, I mean, still teach me some things, but, you know. I got a lot of the basics down now. I mean, I feel like I've gotten pretty decent, at least at explaining Nix, which is really cool. What's up, Parkour Peter, by the way? How's it going, buddy? Hello, hello. Back to VS Code, I have configured Neovim, but as for me, it turns out to be a bit buggy and several plugins are no longer maintained. That's fine. Do you, buddy? I might need to learn Nix OS from you. Well, guess what, guys? Subscribe to the YouTube. All right, that's what I'm gonna say. No, I'm in love with Nix OS. And there's a lot of content that I'm going to be putting out about it. I've already got a video out on development with Flakes. And if you go to our archives, there's actually a whole section of VODs. If you go scroll down a little bit of Nix and Nix OS stuff that we've already done. So if you guys want to check that stuff out, I highly recommend it. I have 3 videos basically in the pipeline right now. The first one will be out at the end of the month. And that one is basically what is Nix and Nix OS. I'm breaking down what Nix OS is, what Nix in its 3 stages, right? Nix is a trinity, Chad. It is a trinity. It is a language, right? It is a package manager, and it is an operating system. These 3 separate entities, by their powers combined, become the Nix that we kind of hear about a lot. You know what I mean? And so I use the OS and the package manager and everything on my VM, my dev VM. And then on Darwin or my MacBook, I use just the package manager. So I use Nix across the board, right? I use Nix for everything now, basically, which is really, honestly, Nix has really eliminated a lot of my need for Docker locally, which has been interesting. Yeah. So yes, join. Oh, also chat. Listen, we have a Discord full of Nix people and people who are interested and want to learn Nix, as well as people who are very well knowledgeable in Nix. I highly recommend you join that because we're also constantly talking about Nix stuff in there. There's a channel dedicated to it called the Nix Trinity, right there. And then there's also the Nix Trinity help section where you can actually ask questions about Nix and people help you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying, like, Nix is, like, kind of the thing I want, like, to do. You know what I mean? I'm very excited about it. There's a lot of really cool things. Looks cool. So I guess what's the elevator pitch to Nix OS? So this is something that I'm only going to use in a comparison, not to say that they work the same way. But Nix is essentially a combination of Terraform and Homebrew and an operating system all smushed into one declaratively configurable configuration that is reproducible every time you build it. And so that's really what Nix is. Yeah. Yeah, so like honestly, I would love to go into it more, but go check out the YouTube. Like, seriously, go check out the YouTube. The reason why I say that is because I actually went through a whole series on Nix, Nix OS introduction series, where I talk about the basics of the language. I talk about development shell and input patterns. Like, I talk about basically a lot of the introduction steps into Nix in this series. And then if you want something short and sweet, I do also have a video on this one, which is how to set up Nix Flakes. And this video shows you, like, basically kind of like what I'm doing at a more just like development level, right? Than in like an OS level. Yo, Faison, thank you for the lurk, buddy. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Which distro I'm using right now? I'm using Nix OS. Yeah, so I'm actually using Nix OS. Thank you for hanging out, though, Faison. It's good to see you, man. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I mean, in a lot of ways, it also replaces Docker. Not entirely. Docker has its own use case, but if you use Docker for local development, right? Like, check this out. Like, if I was like, oh, man, I need Redis. Okay, cool. Hold on. We're building Redis right now, chat. Now I have Redis. Not only do I have Redis, I have the Redis CLI. I leave, I don't got the Redis CLI no more, right? So that's the power of Nix as well. I'm using Nix OS at the moment, yeah. So you use OS that you created. So not technically, but kind of technically. So Nix OS is an operating system truly on its own, right? It's its own operating system built off of the Linux kernel, all that kind of business. However, it is powered entirely by your configuration. So if you just like you can't even install Nix operating system without having some type of basic configuration. Now, to give you a better example of this, because I think this will probably make more sense, let's SSH into one of my servers, okay? So we're going to SSH into one of my servers. Now, this is an actual server on my network somewhere. It's sitting in the garage right now, right? And if I sudo into this, right, and I do cd etc, right, this is something you guys probably all recognize. You're like, oh, he's on a server. He's going to etc into, SSHD or something. Whoa. No, what I'm going to etc into is Nix OS. And in this folder, we will see a configuration.nix file. Well, this configuration.nix file, hold on, let me make sure there's no secrets in it. There was. It's a good reason that I did that. But you could see that I catted it, and look, it's at my actual configuration of my whole operating system. So we have hardware configurations in here, right? What my hardware looks like, disks, network interfaces, all that kind of stuff. And then we have everything else. So I set up like systemd backups. We actually have backups that run AWS CLI. And again, I talk about this a lot more in detail in the VOD, so go check out the YouTubes. Basically, this allows us to run AWS CLI in a backup service. You can see I've got like my bootloader set to here, there's a better example. My boot set to a specific set of latest kernel packages. Like I can even tell it what version of kernel packages I want. I've got a file system mount here. So this is me telling it, hey, file systems, let's create a mount called Samba assets, because this is a Samba drive that we have internally, and then use this disk, right? And this file system type, right? Even packages, right? Look at this. System packages with packages, vim, wget, right? This is how we install packages to the operating system. We don't apt-get blah, blah, apt-get blah, blah, apt-get blah, blah. We don't do that, right? It's declared. So we just simply say, this is what you have. You know what I mean? And so forth and so on. Networking, look, firewall. How do I enable the firewall? Bam, networking, firewall, enable, done. You know what I mean? All right, sorry, I had to close that window. Oh no, I'm showing you the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, these are just JSON-like values. Yeah, in the Nix language. Yeah, exactly. Yo, what's up, Tech at Scale? How's it going? You should make a cat alias for a cat that strips out known secrets in the catting of this. Yeah, that'd be nice, dude. I don't know how you target that. Like in all like real talk, I don't know how you would target that. Like I'm not that smart. Unless like there was genuinely some like module out there that like already, handles and by the way, one other thing for anyone who's interested in Nix. So I just showed it to you on an operating system level. I showed it to you in the sense of like there's a configuration for your host and it does everything for you, right? Well, Nix doesn't just do it on the operating system level. You saw it from a Nix OS level, right? But what I'm showing you now is it from a package level of now I want to just build one specific package that I could install on that Nix OS operating system, right? So Nix traverses every layer of the stack. It builds the packages for you. It allows you to ship those packages with its package manager, and then it allows you to install those packages onto hosts using either the package manager or Nix OS operating system, right? So when we talk about like what it has control over the base, it has control over the packages, it has control over the package manager, and it has control over the operating system optionally as well, right? So when we then say, how does Nix make sure everything is repeatable? Well, it has a string of connection from the base of the build all the way to where it is delivered on the operating system. And that's because it's all done with Nix, right? And so that's what makes Nix very powerful is you can write, and this is what you're looking at here. This is an actual configuration for building a Rust application, right? So what we're looking at right now is what's called a flake, right? And this is, again, I'm showing you tip of the iceberg things here, chat. Go to the YouTube. Go check out the YouTube. There's a lot of information already on both of those YouTubes. But when I say that, I also, say it in the sense that I go through a lot of detail in like what I'm explaining here. So this is all just tip of the iceberg stuff. But as I showed you configuration on a host, like I said, we also have the ability to configure how we want to build packages for those hosts, right? And so forth and so on. And so this is me creating another Nix configuration, right? But it's for a package, right? And this package I'm trying to build is the CLI tool that we're building in Rust called build configs, right? And again, I just talked about this in a previous stream. I was gonna try and have the VODs up sooner. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get them up. I'll get them up today though. Don't worry about it. And those will also be again on the YouTube, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, that's again, Nix controls every layer. Because it controls every layer, it has complete, autonomy on how it has the ability of managing those things. What is this? Huh. That's neat. Well, like I said, that's a cool thing about Docker is like, and Nix is they actually can work together really well. That's funny. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So it basically uses Docker as an intermediary to the package manager. That's pretty cool. Thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate that. How is called the CLI Explorer you use? Oh, that's NNN. Yeah, you mean this? This is it's called NNN. Use the flake I sent on Discord. Less fancy functions in sight. If secrets have the word secret in it, you can cat and pipe output or use regex to filter it. Oh, cow, I see what you're saying. So basically, if there was anything that said secret somewhere, like grab that and then just take that whole line. Just like blindly take that whole line and just be like, nope. I see your point. Maybe we will do that. Maybe we will do that. At some point. What's up, Potato? How's it going, buddy? I need to drink my coffee quicker or else it's going to get cold. And I love hot coffee. Okay, let me since this is like a Nix and a Rust stream. So the first goal I want to do is I guess we'll try update our flake configuration to latest or we'll say to modern approach, I guess, because I guess the approach I'm using right now as to, again, like I said, if you join our Discord, you're going to join with a bunch of other Nix people who have a lot of opinions about Nix. Now, I'm going to be fair with you, and everybody in the Nix community, shut up, all right? I can say this, okay? Listen, the Nix community is a very special community. It's one that I love very deeply, actually, and I relate to it. However, we are very different type of people. We are very passionate about what we do. And so I say it with an open mind. Join if you're interested in Nix and all that stuff, and we will help you. We will guide you down the Nix hole. We might just be a little weird while we do it. But yeah, feel free to join. Oh, here, my bad. I didn't even put the Discord link there. There you go. My bad. Sorry, chat. I think there are repos that can look for a known env. Are there? Training wheels included. Yeah, exactly. We really do try and include, like, I really do want to try and grow our community. That's pretty cool though, Godwo. I appreciate that. Destro, what's up? How's it going, buddy? By the way, Rorix, how are you? Cosmo, what is up? How's it going? I'm trying to make sure I say hi to everybody. Minasanki, again, hello as well. And yeah, like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's tons of commands and tons of different things that Nix does. OSP, by the way, hello. The Nix hole sounds scary. I mean, it's not that bad. All right, so the first thing I want to do before I like choke and die is I want to update our flake configuration to a more modern approach, or whatever, again, Cran suggested. I just want to see it. And honestly, we may just keep it, but I want to try it out really quickly. The next thing I want to do is I want to implement our DSL in Rust types, right? The reason why I want to do this is because I want to start breaking down this. And I want to at least be able to say, like, okay, I want to be able to take this type, and then what we need to do is we need to figure out how to read a JSON and parse with this struct, right? And that's going to be the thing that we want to do with this DSL is we want to be able to read a JSON file, right, and parse with this struct, because that's what the DSL is for. The DSL reads the JSON file, right? So after we figure out how to do that, the next thing we're going to need is we're going to need to implement our CLI in Rust logic, right? And we'll just say, we'll just say in Rust. And what we want to do here is we want to create a sub command that optionally allows us to pass a configuration path, right? And so this takes this and builds upon it, right? And we say, like, okay, well, now that we know how to parse our DSL with Rust types and all that kind of stuff using a JSON file, right? Now we want to be able to read that file from the CLI, right? So that we can then read it and then parse it, right? So then once we've got that in place, we then want to say, what do we want to do next? So now we want to implement our templating engine in Rust, right? And so we need to set up a Jinja-like engine for processing template files, right? And so again, so I want to be real with you guys. I try and write as little programming as I can. I used to really enjoy just throwing myself into a problem and like pulling my head up a week later. However, that has taken a lot of time from my life. And as I've grown more into DevOps, as well as just, again, working more towards being a principal engineer and things like that, I find myself wanting to be as strategic as I possibly can, even any second before I pick up, I start working on, I was going to say before I pick up the pen and paper, but before I start programming, right? Because I really want to be able to have good goals that I can stick to so that I don't get distracted and like go down 5,000 different other ways of doing things. Like, again, these are the main goals of what we want to do. We want to be able to have our DSL in Rust types. We want to be able to have a CLI that gives us the ability to run a command and pass a configuration path to that command, right? And then once we pass that configuration path and we've parsed it with our DSL, then we want to be able to template files. And then after that, we want to be able to render those files, right? So we implement our templating engine, and then we implement our rendering logic for files, right? And so this is create the ability to write templates to the file system for a given repository, right? And again, the idea here is that once we can have our DSL and we can read from JSON, or basically from JSON files, and then once we have the ability of dynamically passing optionally and writing and running a command that allows us to generate, right, and read that file, then we need the ability of actually processing from the configuration our templates using our templating engine, right? And then after we do that, we then implement our rendering logic, meaning at that point, we should have, variables sitting in our logic full of data that we need to render. Now we can implement our rendering logic. So again, as I said before, right, sitting down and breaking it out piece by piece of like, what's the first step? What's the next step? What's the next step? Okay, am I following this path, or am I being super ADD? I have ADD. Like, I don't know if I shouldn't say I do, because I don't want to say I have not been clinically diagnosed. Although I have been clinically diagnosed for general depression, so that's great. Woo! Anyways, or no, anxiety. Sorry, not depression, anxiety. I do. Yeah, I've generalized anxiety. Yeah, that was fun. I got that diagnosis in my 30s. I was like, what? Anyways, I do get distracted is what I mean to say quite often. And so, yeah, I think it's really helpful for me to be able to follow that path by being able to be like, okay, wait, am I like just, super, gone down a different rabbit hole than I needed to here? Yeah, strong suggestion, chat, to sit down and plan some of this stuff out. Can we say that Nix replaces Ansible for a lot of use cases? Yes. Nix replaces Ansible So, okay, I'm going to be real. Check this out. If you go to the YouTube, I did a YouTube video before I found out about Nix on how to automate your dev setup using Ansible. And honestly, I think if you're somebody who doesn't want to use Nix or go down the Nix rabbit hole, this is the best way to setting up a automated dev environment. Like, I really still believe that to this day. It's really like what I show and how I show setting it up is very easy. It allows you to, have something that you can run on your own all the time. And it's very like ad hoc. It's very easy to use. Like I actually really do think that if you want to set up something with automation and you don't want to necessarily go down the Nix route yet, I do think that this is a really good solution. However, yes, Nix replaces it if you decide to use Nix. Yeah. Nix looks like ASDF on steroids. I don't know. What is ASDF? Manage multiple runtime versions with a single CLI tool. Well, I mean, so that's part of what Nix can do, but it does so much more. Like Nix is at its core, chat, Nix is a build system. I need to be clear on that. At its core, Nix is a build system. It is something that takes your logic that you write in the Nix language and interprets that into a set of actions. Not actions, but like logic that has to be done to build to build your package, right? Or to build your operating system or whatever. So like at the end of the day, Nix is a language and it's a package manager, right? And it's an operating system, but it's all powered by a build system. Right, without the build system, Nix would be nothing. It would just be a bunch of expressions. So the build system is definitely heavily a part of it. Yeah. Will the stream be on the VOD later? I am watching on the UTV below to check back. What I think is there's so many different things. OS package manager, and it's hard to understand from the beginner. That's why. So listen, yes, Destro, there will be the VOD. The VOD is also going to be like you can check out the VOD on Twitches pretty much like after the show. We publish our VODs. Hold on. I'm trying to like find it for you. Yeah, back to Twitch. Hold on. Oh my God. I want to go to our channel. Okay, here we go. All right. Hold on. Come on, dude. Come here, browser. Okay, there we go. So if you go here, let's make this smaller. If you go here, right, and you go to videos, all of our VODs are there definitely right after the stream, right? So like the last stream, even though it's not on YouTube yet, right? It is on Twitch. Like you can access it right now. If you want to see, like, if you want to watch our last VOD, just, you could watch it right here. Or again, give me a day and then it'll be on the YouTubes. YouTube just has like a 24-hour to 48-hour delay normally. Yeah. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub to Destro. Thank you. Anonymous. I always say you don't have to be anonymous, but I appreciate you regardless. Thank you so much for the gifted subby. Cool. I'm glad. But yeah, it will be on the YouTubes. Yeah, for sure. I have been pushing my coworkers to put down their analysis on our tickets before they start coding. It has been very, put down their, nice, good. That's good. It has been very helpful that they've been writing, it has been very helpful than having to write a novel on the PR that they should have done. Yeah. Well, like that, so that's actually really interesting. So like at Hippo, one of the things that we're trying to do right now within the DevOps organization is we're trying to respond with documentation instead of responding with answers. Because we've gotten so good at responding with answers that our channel has kind of become just like Google for our internal company. Because like that's what we are to them. We are like, you know, and it's not to be, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying it to be fair. Like, you know, most of us can pull the answer out of our head within 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's easier for them to lean on us. And so that has unfortunately put more attention we've needed to give to, like, stuff we don't really need to give to, right? Like a lot of the stuff of like, how can I debug this? Just go look at the thing and see if it's updated. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to do that for you, you know? So we're trying to like bridge those gaps of knowledge and education, and really only need to be there when we actually really, again, need, like there's fires, you know what I mean? That's not a fire. That's like, why are you, it's dev, like whatever, dude, you know, like it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, like documentation is incredibly helpful. Yeah. I saw it referred to millennial trifecta: ADHD, depression, and anxiety. Yeah. I feel like at least if you're a millennial, you've got at least 2 or 3 of those. What's up, LKS, by the way? Yo, Glam, what's up, dude? How's it going? Been diagnosed since I was 17. It's a struggle. Yo, yeah, so to go quickly into my diagnosis with anxiety. The TLDR is when COVID hit, actually right before it hit, actually, I was really kind of adjusting to my new life as basically being a homebody, somebody who just like lived inside all the time and was working, because I was remote, and I had already been living that lifestyle, that COVID lifestyle. I was living for like 4 years before that, of just being inside all the time. And it had gotten to the point where I think I was starting to get fatigued from it pretty heavily. And I ended up having like a full-on just panic attack one night. And it got to the point where like I thought I was going to die. Like I genuinely, like, I was like, oh my God, this is it. I fell into my bed, like grabbing my chest. Like it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then a few weeks, or like a week, or like a week later, once I could get to the doctor, they looked me over and they're like, yeah, you're fine. But my doctor's like, but in all seriousness, I think you might want to talk to somebody because you might have generalized anxiety. Like you might have, this seems like anxiety for me. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, I'm a very privileged, lucky guy to be able to have the life that I do. Like I have nothing to complain about or worry about, really. I mean, you know, own life problems. It is what it is, but you know. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, and then, you know, it opened my mind to this whole different world of thought and living, of like self-care on a level I'd never done for myself. So it was good and it was bad, you know. It was a bad way to learn that you have it, but it was also a good way to be like, okay, well, different way to live now. You're the kind of guy that I would love to work with, be my mentor. Well, guess what, Destro? I'm not going anywhere. This is where we are. I am your mentor. We just do it here. You know what I mean? Where do you get the latest programs and developments for DevOps related stuff? I normally find it. Yeah, I normally find it myself. Or just like social media. I do, like, I'm very into the communities, like, and you know, just constantly looking for new things. So it's not in one place. It could be Reddit. It could be, you know, Hacker News. It could be our Discord. Honestly, like, real talk, do you know where I get a lot of my information from? Our Discord. Seriously. Our Discord has kind of gotten to the terminal velocity point to, like, anything that is new coming out that, like, is hype pretty much gets posted in our Discord within, like, hours of it being released. So, like, that's normally where I get a lot of it. Yeah. The community is pretty nice there. And again, like, what's more powerful than a bunch of nerds sitting around, like, just waiting for the next cool thing to come out? Let me confluence that for you. Yeah, exactly. Literally. I actually, basically, I said it in our meeting yesterday. I was like, you know, I think we respond with documentation instead of an answer. And they were like, I like that. Respond with documentation. I'm on my winter depression blues for that time right now for the past 3 months. I'm sorry, bud. Yeah, anxiety is not a thing I wish on anyone. It's, you know, it's also something that, like, I'm very sympathetic to. So I'm sorry, bud. Am I medicated? No, I'm not. I could have been, but I decided not to. And it's definitely a bit more challenging. Don't get me wrong. I'm aware of that, especially now. But I have found some good, like, again, it's kind of like a teeter-totter. Some days I'm like balanced pretty well. You know what I mean? Other times I'm like, whoa, but here's the thing is before I didn't know I was teetering. You know what I mean? It was hard to know and be aware of that teeter. Whereas like now I know when I'm teetering. And so I can be like, oh, okay, oh shit, hold on. Self-care. Everyone needs a bubble bath every once in a while. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's hop into this chat. Yeah, I want to. DS Legends, what's up, by the way, buddy? How are you doing? All right, so let me look at, again, like I said, a lot of cool stuff comes out of our Discord, and one of those things is Cran's rants and cool things that he shares. So here you go. As I told you in Twitch chat yesterday, this is how you use Dream to Nix. So, okay, Cran, here's the question though, bro. Like, serious talk. Is Dream to Nix like the next big like shebang-a-bang? Like, I want to like I don't know. Like I like Dream to Nix. My only worry about it is that it's so homogenous, I think is the word I'm looking for, or so global that, like, is it gonna have a good job at building everything? Seriously? I'm very medicated. That's fair. Like, again, I understand that there is sometimes you can't get around it, and those have been very, very hard days for me. So yeah, and I will say this as well, though. Like, I've also not had the greatest experience with therapists, so I don't know if I am at a point right now where I also trust somebody to be giving me that for that. You know what I mean? I've been medicated for a couple of no fun. Yeah. I'm great. Having new experience negotiating my employer how to keep me employed. This is a first for me. Wait, what? DS Legends, are you okay? What? It does Rust, Node.js, Python, Haskell, WIP, and PHP. I know, but like, here's my question to you, Cran, and this is my only thing, is like, is Dream to Nix really being so adopted by the community as the one-size-fits-all solution for building software? Like, that's the question I'm really trying to understand here. Because, like, yes, Dream to Nix is cool, but, like, I honestly would rather, unless it really does, like, for example, like, I want to be able to, maybe manage my own packages, or, well, I mean, I guess you kind of do it here if you want to extend the dev shell it creates for you. I don't know. Oh, I mean, that's the dev shell, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the dev shell. Where's the other one that I know that there was another one that somebody's Crane, right? Crane. Let's go to their GitHub really quickly. All right, so Crane has 356 stars. It looks like it's, let's look at the community. Like, this is where you kind of have to look to see, like, if you can trust a project. Oh, Dream to Nix does use Crane underneath the hood. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I'm just trying to see, like, I guess my question is, Cran, is like, do I want to use, Dream to Nix for everything, or do I want to go based off of the language itself? You know what I mean? Why? Tell me why. Is it really that good? Like, is that what you're trying to say? That, like, it's just really that good? I guess we can give it a shot. I mean, again, it's not like this is the first time I've used Dream to Nix. I've used Dream to Nix before. All right, let's give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. I'm just going to go to the actual website, though. Dream to Nix. All right, let's see here. Looks like Node.js is interesting. Okay. Oh, that's right. You need this, like, projects.toml thing. I don't know. Like, see, this is one of the things that I wasn't super impressed with. Like, I didn't like having to deal with this. Okay, let me look at what you've got. You're saying make flake inputs system x86-64. Hold on, let me go back to your example. Yeah, I don't like that's one of the reasons why I kicked it out. Is I didn't like what's it called? This is using flake parts. Okay. So, if I'm reading this right, you have outputs. Hold on. I need a little bit more space here. Formatting on this is weird. Oh, jeez Louise. Come here. There we go. Okay. Just kick out Nix completely. Shut up, Isaac. Hold on. I just want to read what you've got here real fast. So, okay, so you've got your inputs, and then you've got your outputs. So your outputs is returning a function, which is taking, okay, make flake, inherit inputs. Oh, no, never mind. I see, you're just exposing inputs. Never mind. Okay, so inputs, and then it's using the function make flake to inherit inputs. It sets the systems, sets the imports, input stream to Nix Flake module beta. So I'm guessing this is what maybe makes it so you don't have to use the toml. Per system packages config dream to Nix import self.source equals inputs.self. Dude, you just had to abstract the out of this, didn't you? I'm pretty sure I know what you're doing here, which is like you're calling itself to create the package. So, okay, so am I understanding this right? That basically inputs.self equates to make flake? Is that the derivation? Dude, functional programming, I swear to God, it is so mind-f***ing sometimes. No, so Cran, what I'm just simply trying to ask you is what does input self evaluate to? That's it, right? Because the only thing, like, I'm trying to figure out where the derivation is connected, and I'm assuming path. What path? There's no path here. There's literally, the word path is literally not in the code in front of me. Calculation or reduce 35, maybe I deserve it. Inputs.self is inputs.self.outPath. Okay. No. I'm not going to accept that, Cran. Where's the derivation, bro? You're telling me where the output path is, and I understand that's going to be evaluated to the out path. Where is the derivation, dog? Where's the derivation being connected inside the Dream to Nix module system? Okay, let me rephrase my question. If I remove Dream to Nix input self.source, what happens? Yeah, no, that's the problem is I'm not going to let him get away with the magic. Like, I'm not going to let that happen. You need to break it down for me as if I am 5 so that I understand this. So, that, like, honestly, this is one of the reasons why I do get frustrated over the Nix, like, and just, like, functional programming in general is, like, I feel like it is kind of, like, as if it's, like, just, it gets so fucking abstracted that it looks like magic. And you're just like, but no, it's really like 90,000 other functions calling each other. And like, that's why it looks like magic now. And so like, I'm just like, I'm not going to get away. Okay. So you'll have an empty flake. Okay. So source inputs.self.source in this case is equivalent to this source is what you're saying. Am I reading that correctly? Right? So if we were using, yes, okay. So no, I got you. I think I can't, dog, I don't want to read the docs because I want to believe I understand it. Like that's why I'm pushing and testing myself right now. So if this is source, right? Okay. Where did my stuff go? Where did your example go? Okay. So if this is source, then what you're doing, so Dream to Nix dot inputs. Dream to Nix. Okay, so what is this? Because I understand what's happening here now. We're using make parts, or we're using flake parts to create a flake. Sure, I get that. And we're telling what the flake is, or what the system is for the flake. You're inputting the Dream to Nix flake module beta, right? So what is this inputs? It takes the Dream to Nix interface and uses it inside a Nix OS module system that is statically typed. Why all of this? Like, why not? Again, this is why I don't understand. Like, what are you getting from this? Why not just use Crane? So, like, I get you, Cran, but, like, if I'm just doing this for, like, one language, why not just use Crane? No, I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. But, like, why, like, seriously, why this level of abstraction? I don't get it. Like, I understand how functional, but, like, this is so highly abstracted away from the language. You don't know what language we're working with here. You have no idea. Like, there's nothing in this flake mentions Rust on any shape or form or level. And again, I'm just contesting you here as somebody who is new to the Nix world, who wants to understand it and wants to know if this is, like, truly the magic we're seeking within the Nix community. You know what I mean? Like, that's more of, like, at this point, what I'm trying to decipher is, like, okay, I get it, cool, but, like, nothing in this flake references a Rust, that it would be a Rust package at all. Like, as a matter of fact, I would imagine that this is almost like a drag and drop flake that I could probably put anywhere, right? Because, I mean, there's no definition of, you know, I was just about to write something bad. Oh, geez. Maybe you can inspect it with the Nix REPL. I don't know how good the REPL is, honestly. I don't know if it can actually traverse like that. But that's a good call, Eth. That's a good call. That's the philosophy of Dream Nix. It seems as this is too far ahead of the audit. Yeah, dog. You basically just were like, here's a neuron. Do you understand science? Like that, again, you need to understand a lot of functional abstraction to understand how this works. And as somebody who's finally drinking the functional Kool-Aid a bit more, as somebody trying to barrier those two gaps, right? Like, I'm trying to be the glue between the engineers who know nothing about any of this, which I'm kind of in that same category, and then the engineers who know, like, a shit ton about this and, like, are, like, the functional programming gods, you know what I mean? And, like, this is just like again, am I right in my approach here that this flake is a drag and drop flake that I could put anywhere? Like, I don't have to actually, I could run this for a node one too, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So this is basically, this would work with any language. Okay, here's a follow-up question then, Cran. I appreciate you, dog. You know I do. Here's a follow-up question. What is the value of using a globalized builder, right, or a generic builder like Dream to Nix if you're only using one language in the package? That would be my last question that I think will help me decide if I actually want to use Dream to Nix or not. Like, I can see the value of, you know, Dream to Nix building like 5 different packages in like 5 different languages all in this. Like, I think Dream to Nix solves Nix packages very well, right? Like, if we compare what Dream to Nix does and then we put it to Nix packages, I think Nix packages could massively benefit from something like this, right? But when we talk about an individual flake that just uses one language, do we need the whole level? Do we need that level? And again, I'm asking is also as just like a functional programmer trying to learn more about functional programming. Like in functional programming, and for anyone else out there as well, like if you guys are into, like if you're functional programmers, please feel free to chime in. Like within the functional paradigm, do you just get to a point where it's so abstracted that it just becomes generic? You know what I mean? Like, or do you, like, you know what I mean? So I guess that's my second question is like, is there value in using something so, again, generic for basically we're only going to be using it for one thing? You know what I mean? Okay, while he's answering, I do want to look at Crane really quickly. I'm not going to say that we're not. Well, you know what? Here, let's try it. Well, before I jump into Crane, let's try this approach. Now, actually, before I try Crane's approach, which is a bit too. Don't worry, we're going to try Crane as well. We're going to try both of them, honestly. I'm going to try both. Like, that's the only way I can learn is by trying both, and so that's what we're going to do. Okay? Cool. Okay? I don't care what you think. Okay? All right. Well, so Scotty, Cran is, educating us about Dream to Nix, which, I mean, again, I know about Dream to Nix. I've used it before. I am talking with Cran about the value of something like Dream to Nix in a scenario where you're only using one language, right, Scotty? So that's what we're talking about right now. Like, Dream to Nix is very awesome, and Cran was nice enough to post an example in our wonderful chat, as you are a part of as well, on how to use Dream to Nix. But and this is what, like, for anybody out there who's interested in functional programming, for anyone out there who's interested in Nix, like, this is something you're going to hit that I'm trying to help all of us get around, which is, if you look at this flake, and again, this isn't like a diss or anything. It's a, you know, I mean, geez, to be able to make a flake that's so generic it could use any language, that's really powerful. However, if you look at this flake and you're like, I want to learn how to build something with Rust, you normally like mentally try and connect the two together, right? But the Nix OS, the Nix like ecosystem has grown so much where like we're getting into generic ways now. You know what I mean? And so the example he showed me, which is right here, which is not a bad example. I'm simply stating that it's so abstracted, it's hard to look at this and be like, what am I building and how does this work, right? And so I had to sit here for a few minutes and talk with him through it to be like, okay, so what's actually happening is we have our inputs, right? We have our outputs. We're using our main make flake as our derivation, right? So here's where our derivation starts. Okay, like, you know, like I had to break it down into simpler Nix terms because like that's where you know what I mean? I like very much am trying to connect the dots here, you know? And so then we're like, okay, since it's make flake, we know that it's going to make flake for this system. We know that it's importing the flake module beta, right? But then once we get to per system, then it's like, okay, well, what is Dream to Nix import self source, right? And like inputs, like what is all of this, right? And this is where, like, if you didn't understand where or how the abstraction works and like where the definitions are and stuff, this is like, what? Like, you've basically got a one-line problem solver here, which is it is powerful, but it's also like, how do you understand that, right? And so that's where I was like, okay, that's cool. I appreciate that. I think that's dope. But then again, it makes me ask the question, is there value in having such abstraction when you're only using one language, right? Let me catch up with what chat said. If you know how to use X, you know how to use Y. Also, if you're going to use Crane, might as well use it through Dream to Nix, which has a better interface for it. If you want, I can make you a not abstracted flake. Flake parts of Dream to Nix is part of is point to reimagine how it. So no, I think you're fine. I think what you put there is good because it helps me see like where your mind's at, or at least like, you know, what like something really highly abstracted looks like. I don't want you to ever not give me your suggestion, right? If I ever ask for a different suggestion, then I'll ask for it. You know what I mean? But that's like, honestly, that's one thing I've really learned about you guys that I want to empower you all with me to do, which is like, just bring whatever you think is cool to the table, man. You know, you guys have shown me some really cool stuff in this, you know, streaming experience. And one of them's definitely been Nix, you know, and a bunch of other, again, really amazing things. And I've learned to not try and like stop you from sharing or, you know, being opinionated about what you share with me. Like, I just don't want it to be rude. That's all, you know? So yeah. I appreciate any, any education. I had much better luck with mock Nix than I did with Dream Nix. I'm sure it's because I'm dumb, but it stinks that it isn't maintained anymore. Right, and so like that's part of the problem, right? Is Dream to Nix is like this new philosophy and this new way of doing things that like if you don't understand where you came from, then you can't understand why you got there, right? A lot of animes are built around that that storyline right there. But like it's true, you know what I mean? It's one of the reasons why I yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like lose my train of thought. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. It's one of the reasons why I get frustrated, especially because like again, I want to understand that connection to it, and it's the Nix ecosystem is very diverse, I guess is a good way to say. The author of Dream to Nix has a talk and a bunch of resources that explain it. Oh, nice. Yeah, drop those in the Discord if you have them. That passive aggressive, as I told you in Twitch chat yesterday, getting tired of BG. No, dude. No. If anything, no. Then you probably shouldn't be using it if you aren't going to go through the docs to understand what is behind the scenes. I mean, I am. I do understand it. That's why I broke it down to you. The abstraction was a bit more challenging because again nothing in it related to Rust. It has value if you plan on using Crane. Crane is nicer because it has different idea of how crates should be built. Crane is faster than Nix packages builder because it builds the dependencies in its own derivation than the main crate in its own. It glues them together. The author of Mox Nix is also the author of Dream to Nix. I remember the one time I talked about Rust and prod and triggered BG for an hour. Hey man, shut up. Let me write something for you real quick. Yeah, sure. Per my last email, yeah. Lots of things trigger BG for an hour. Yeah, I know, right? Like being able to actually program since we're not even doing that. Let's do that. All right. Let's do that. I'm down to try a Nix Dream to Nix approach. So let's just do based off of like what they suggest here. And then we'll try Cran's approach too. Okay, so what are we going to do first? Let's see here. So Dream to Nix. So we need our input. So I'm going to grab this really quickly. All right. Paste this in. Cool. Oops, come on, man. Let's go here. Dream to Nix. Cool. Okay. And then this is really all we need. And now again, this is why I tell you when I was telling you in the last stream, like at least for what we're doing right now, it's very easy to just update this and give it like the new value that we need, right? So in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to say default equals, and we're going to copy this make flake outputs just like that, basically. Now we're probably going to need Dream to Nix. Wait, what? That might need system. I'm not sure though. Okay, so wait, navigate to the project, initialize Dream to Nix Flake show. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe, why don't we try that? Let's just do their like init approach. Let's see what that is. So boop, boop. Yes. Okay, got rid of both of those. Do they have one that's not simple? Do they have like a Rust one by chance? Let's go to their Flake. Simple. Oh wait, where is simple declared? Simple. They have an example there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Builds the package all in a single derivation. Hold on, chat. Let's go back to the top. Examples. Rust. I think I already looked for Rust in here. Rust no cargo.lock. This is one of the reasons why I don't like the newer version of Dream to Nix. I really don't like this projects.toml thing. Yo, what's up, Shixie? How's it going? Hello, hello. Again, I know you're not using it, Cran. I'm just saying, like, I don't, if this is like the future of it as well, it's like not very enticing. All right, let's just try the simple one. Do I say yes to this? Do you want to allow, like, what is this? What am I saying this? Another config file type? I'm so tired. Oh, geez. Are you talking about Nix? Is that what you're talking about, Nitro Piece? Because I'm going to be fair with you. That's one you might want to actually know about. Nix blew my mind, man. Okay? Oh, TOML. That's what I was thinking when I first tuned in. I mean, that's fair. Hey, listen, don't get me wrong. Look at that. See, you made me sigh now, dude. Come on. Like... am I saying yes to this? Am I saying yes to this, by the way, Cran? Listen, if we could just describe all of our data in one unanimous data type, it'd be great, okay? Oh, Nitro, you're fine, dude. Trust me, I totally get that. It's one of the reasons why I'm making YouTube videos about it, man. I'm trying to help people with that time, because trust me, I dove deep into it, man. It's just for caching. Oh, okay. That's fine. Sure. Why not? Extra trusted keys. Oh, okay. CacheX. It's just CacheX. Okay. JSON blinks. I mean, if you're saying JSON is like a good general purpose, for most things, sure. But even JSON can only go so far. Right? Like JSON doesn't allow you to reuse variables. That alone can be like really frustrating. Nix Flake show. I don't know what EDN is. EDN file extension? I don't know, but you just said 2 of them. So that's more than one, all right? Ugh. All right. You got me, yeah. Damn it, you got me. I like you. That was good. That was good. I like that. That was good. Okay. So after you do Nix init and you try doing show, it gives us this like confusion thing here where it says that it wants a .toml file. We can generate and run it automatically by running this command, but the apps attribute is not set. I think this is what we ran into last time, dude. I think this is one of the reasons why I didn't end up using this, because this was like ridiculous. Let's try this again. Okay, looks like we actually got a projects.toml that time. Okay, cool, we did. All right, so now let's do Nix Flake show. So I'm not getting, we're saying that we're getting an error saying apps attribute not set. So I'm gonna be real with you. Even like their documentation sucks. I'm sorry, dude, but like, not the most non-clunky experience so far. And again, I'm not judging you for it, Cran. I'm just saying more like, why that shouldn't be failing. And it is because it's saying that we don't have an apps. Actually having to use those store paths is a pain. Yeah, it is. Yeah, thankfully I don't really use them that much. I really just like Packer's docs. Oh, like HashiCorp's Packer? Yeah. See, what's interesting about this chat too is like, this isn't giving us everything. This is only getting, yeah, see, this is, yeah, actually, now that I think about this chat, this, check Discord. Oh, okay. Oh, so you used it with the actual native Rust builder. So let me ask you this, Cran, really quickly. Why am I not getting all of my outputs from this? Do you happen to know why? Because I should be getting an apps from this at least, right? If I do Nix Flakes, because like again, I'm trying to understand my expectations around all of this so that I'm not confused, right? Now, if I go into my Nix Flake, right, you'll notice that compared to our previous one, right, if we go to our previous one that we had before, right, we had like packages, dev shells, and apps. In their approach, you're just returning a whole make flake outputs function, right? And this function is basically supposed to give you, it's supposed to give you apps, supposed to give you dev shells. Like, can I do Nix develop? Yeah, see, I can't even do Nix develop. Am I wrong to think that Nix seems like an uppity, successful cousin to Arch? Okay, so let me be fair to everyone sitting here right now. I need to make sure that you guys have proper expectations when it comes around to Nix, okay? Nix is not just an operating system, all right? If you join our Discord, which I highly recommend you do, our Discord has a really good pinned image in it, which is called the Nix Trinity, okay? Nix is three different things. It is 3 separate items that when joined together give you a developer experience that like the one you're seeing now, well, kind of a successful one, not the one I'm failing at the moment. It is first and foremost, it is a language. It's a language, right? So what you're seeing me write in right now, right, is the actual Nix DSL. Now it's a domain specific language, right? But it's a language nonetheless that is used to write all the configurations in. So you're not just like, and I'm sorry for everyone who are just like, not another configuration. Well, guess what? It's also a different language. So just, whatever, suck it up. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a language. It's a functional language, and it's like inspired from Haskell and things like that. But it's a functional language that is used to create these configurations. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is it's a package manager. So as we write these build expressions, is what we call them, build expressions in our Nix files, right? The package manager is what actually enables us to redistribute those builds and those packages, right? And that's what enables me to do things like if I want to add neofetch to my shell, I can just do Nix shell, Nix packages, neofetch. And what it'll do is it'll go out to Nix packages, build neofetch, and then run it for me. And that's literally what it's doing right now. You see, it evaluated the flake neofetch from Nix packages. And then once it's done evaluating it, it'll actually execute that for me. And I can do that with anything within Nix packages. If I wanted Redis, same thing. Redis CLI. Now I have the Redis CLI, right? Redis CLI help, right? I get out of that shell, Redis CLI. I don't have Redis anymore. So it does a lot of very powerful things. Build config. There we go. And the last one, sorry. So again, the last one is the actual operating system, right? So the language powers the package manager, which powers the operating system. Now you don't need the operating system. You can run the package manager and the language together to do all of your building, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you can do that, right? The operating system is when you say, I want complete control of the builds and every package from the bottom all the way to the top, right? So the operating system is powered by the package manager, meaning that everything that gets installed is written in the language so that we have a completely reproducible build in the package manager and the operating system that we put it on. Yes, it is a lot of things. And yes, it is very, very confusing. But again, I would recommend you check out the YouTube. Can you show the Redis example CLI again? Yeah. So for example, right now, I'm in a shell and I don't have Redis at all, right? Now, in a Docker scenario, what would I do? I would go out and I'd be like, Docker pull Redis, right? And then I'd figure out how to like run it as a container, or I could do homebrew install, and then like Redis would get installed and blah, 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 right? But there's two things about this. First, the Docker approach obviously requires you to be able to do containerization. You have to like, mount paths and inject, like it's containers. So you just deal with everything related to containers, right? Homebrew, it's a step closer, but Homebrew's like kind of duct taped together. I don't really know anybody who has complete full belief in Homebrew. And Homebrew is also focused just on getting you what you need. So it'll like download redistributable binaries. Like, it doesn't actually build the it doesn't actually build the software on the system to guarantee that it works. Like Homebrew can download something for you and it still breaks. With Nix, that does not happen because Nix has to build, it literally builds Redis on your computer and then it runs it for you. And when I tell you that like everything is reproducible, it truly is. If I build something on one machine with Nix, it will build identically on that other machine because of how it uses its package locks, how it does like checksums and all of these other things. Whereas with Homebrew, it just pulls the latest version of something it can and then installs it, right? And so like, for example, again, if we go back to the Redis example here, Redis CLI, I don't have it. I'm like, oh man, I need Redis. Okay, I'm going to do Nix shell, Nix packages, pound Redis. Right now, what I'm doing here is I'm telling Nix, hey, I want you to create a new shell for me. And when you create that new shell, I want you to actually inject the Redis package from Nix packages. Now, if you don't know what Nix packages is one of the largest package managers out there. It's got 80,000 and more, over 80,000 software packages. By now, it's like, it's been saying 80,000. It said 80,000 like a year ago when I first, or like 6 months ago when I first got into this. So like it's definitely above that by now because I've contributed some. But Nix packages has over 80,000 packages in it. And when we talk about what Nix packages has, for example, it has Redis. Sure, like you can search, right? Search for your packages. It has Redis. But guess what? It also has Python packages of Redis, right? And not only does it have Python packages of Redis, it also has Ruby packages of Redis. And not only does it have Ruby, it also has OCaml. And I would imagine Node.js is in here somewhere. Oh, it might not be called, it might be, what is it called? Like Redis.io or whatever. Here, we'll do prettier. There you go. Node packages, prettier. So what does that mean? That means that Nix handles everything for you. You don't need Yarn anymore. You don't need NPM anymore because Nix knows how to actually build and it builds every single one of these. It builds even the node packages, chat, right? This is the level of reproducibility that we're talking about. So if we go back to that example, now that you understand what Nix packages is, and then I go, okay, I want to add Redis to my shell. I run it. Now, you'll notice it ran instantly for me. Why did it do that? Because it's already been built. Right? It's already sitting in my store. Right? It's cached. Yeah, it's a lazy cache, a lazy loaded cache. So now I can just do Redis CLI, bim, bam, boom. Now I'm in Redis, right? I exit. I leave the shell. No more Redis. Now, I'm going to be real. This does mean that with cache, you have garbage collection. But guess what, chat? You go to our YouTube, you go to the archives, There's a whole series on Nix and Nix OS in here, right? And if you look, one of them I talk about is store and garbage collection. So if you want to understand like how you clean your system, all that stuff, go watch that YouTube. But it does have like a garbage collector and whatnot. If you were to say, all right, BG, well, where does every package go? It goes in a place called Nix Store. Literal path called Nix Store. This is where I kind of like compare it to Homebrew because all of your packages exist in one place, right? Well, it's in the Nix Store. And if we do an ls-alh on that, look at this. Vim plugin, comp, tab 9, curl, Python, curl. Every single package that is built exists here, all on the same layer. And the reason for that is because they all are dependencies of each other in some way, shape, or form. So like ALSA, right, for sound, ZSH completions, right? And so this is what you clean up with garbage collection, but this is where everything gets built and basically put. This is also an immutable store. which is another difference with Homebrew. Homebrew, you can just go in there and delete anything you want. With this, you can't even delete anything. It won't let you. It's a completely immutable store. When you build something, you build something new. Are you having compositor issues? I am. Yeah. So those like square things, it's just in Firefox. I don't know what's going on, dude. I've been dealing with this for months, and honestly, I'm really annoyed by it. I have no idea why this happens, but yeah, like every now and then if I scroll and then like I stop, like and it's just in Firefox. No idea. Probably a YouTube video on this, but I'm missing the leap of what's wrong with Docker containers versus Nix packages. There's nothing wrong with it, but when you consider the technical challenges of using a container, like it's not about Docker. This isn't about Docker. This is just about if you're developing with containers, you deal with like user permissions with files, you deal with like mount issues, right? Like containerizing a whole like dev environment. Trust me, chat, okay? Trust me. I know. It is hard. It is not the easiest thing to do in the world. Nix just does path injection at the end of the day, right? Cran, don't be a dick. Yes, there is. There's a lot of people who use it, yeah. And yeah, Cran, don't be a dick. Listen, anybody in chat, just excuse Cran. He's a very special person. We love him very much, but he has his own way of talking at times. So we just slap him in the head, and it's okay. So just slap him in the head and keep on. He's got great knowledge, and he's got a great heart. Just slap him in the head and keep moving on. But yeah, no. With containers, you have to deal with all of those different, layers of containerization. With Nix, it's literally just in your path. So like, for example, if I do echo path, my path is filled with Nix store stuff in it because everything for me is managed by Nix, right? So like, for example, if I go here, you could see these are all of the symlinks to all of the programs that I use. And where are they going? To the Nix store. Yeah, what's up, Nilium? How's it going? Nix is 10 years older than Docker. Yeah, Nix has been around for a while. Started watching midstream, so no clue about the context. There is a lot. So, okay, I'm going to be fair with you guys on this. There are projects up there that combine Docker Compose and Nix and stuff like that. I don't personally think that's the best way to approach it. I think that you could create dev environments with Nix that don't need Docker. But if you feel you need it, maybe for the complete isolation or like, encapsulation, right? Because there are things that Nix can't do. Nix, for example, right now cannot isolate a file system of packages or a file system of files together like Docker can. Nix will write it to your host operating system basically in the paths that it expects to. So you have to tell Nix, all right, I want you to write here, or I want you to write here. Like that is a separation between those two. If you want that complete isolation with Docker, Docker's still not a bad option there. But so there is a Docker compose Nix like option out there. Arion, yeah, I think this is what it's called, Arion. I think, yeah, and Hercules uses it. But yeah, like it basically generates. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like. There you go. So yeah, so you'll see here like web server, image, right, command, service ports. Now again, this is all in the Nix language, which is very powerful, right? This is what enables us to have that like really nice declarative thing. But at the end of the day, like it's just gonna generate it into a Docker Compose. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much the same thing as Docker Compose in that sense. There will be other things though too that it could potentially help with. So I think Arion's one of. There's a few of them out there. I know there's like another one like Docker plus Nix. There's like another like big. I thought it was like really. There's one that's like much more like modern and like I remember it having a nice website, but I can't think of the name of it. Does it use Docker Compose under? Yeah, I think I think Arion, what I just showed you, I think it does. It does everything with Docker under the hood. Yeah. Again, that's I've not used it, so I don't fully know, but I've done enough research to believe that that's what it does. Yeah, I can't think of it either. It's like, so basically there's like a tool out there that they took Nix and they shoved it underneath the hood and they said like, this is what powers it, but then they don't talk about it at all. And that's one of the reasons why I actually am not a big fan of that is because you don't really understand why you're using it. But yeah, I can't remember exactly what tool it's called. Oh, do you remember it, Cran? Do you remember it? All right, so I'm gonna be real. Nix Packs. That's what it is. Yeah, Nix Packs. Yeah. So this is Nix Packs. Yeah. So this is like, yeah. Okay. See. As I said, chat, the Nix community is a very passionate one, and there are things that we get introduced that we're just like, why are you doing this? I'm sorry, I blinded you guys. So like what Nix Packs does basically is it takes your source code and it builds it into an image, but it just basically does it using Nix. I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know. So you guys are more than like, here, 2 things I'm gonna tell you. You're welcome to check that out. Seriously though, join our Discord. We're growing our Nix community. And it's been like flourishing, which has been awesome. More people have been, joining the conversation. I would recommend you taking a look at 2 sections in our Discord, the Nix Trinity help section, as well as the Nix Trinity section itself. This is where like we talk about like all Nix stuff. Cran shares a lot of stuff. And we do have a lot of people in our community who use Nix too. So it's like, right now, Nix for me, the best way I'm learning from Nix is literally through the community and being around people and like talking to them. But yeah, so again, Nix Packs is something that is supposed to be powered by Nix, but like it doesn't really talk about it that much. And it's like very abstracted away. Like the fact that they're telling you to use brew to install it, it's kind of like, oh boy. So anyways, in which community am I in? I'm in many communities. I'm technically also in the main Nix Matrix community, which outside of our Discord, this is the only other place I know people. Like Matthew, right here, Matthew, he's actually in our Discord too. And he's like a very well-known guy in the Nix community world. Very, very knowledgeable. I guess we can call him a friend now. He's a very sweet guy. Again, we have a lot of really cool people in our Discord that kind of like bridge in both communities and stuff. By the way, not Cran, Glam, if you have a fix for that, let me know how you fixed it, dude. Because I would love to fix that. But what if you wanted to build something yourself? What do you mean by that, Drew? What do you mean by that? My use case is literally just spin up and down different versions of Postgres and Mongo depending on what I'm working on. So like, honestly, I'm going to be real with you on that one, Arn. You wouldn't even need a Nix. Like, you wouldn't need a Nix configuration for that. You could literally just do Nix packages, Postgres, and then like target the version you want. So like Postgres, right? 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. So like at least like if I wanted Postgres, a PostgreSQL 15 there. Oh, wait, hold on. Does not provide PostgreSQL 15. Did you mean one of the... Oh, did I spell it wrong? Maybe I did. PostgreSQL. Yeah, there we go. I spelled it wrong. But see now, there you go. Now I've got Postgres. See? If I wanted to run a Postgres server, I could easily do that. Now if I do Postgres, nothing, right? So yeah, technically you wouldn't even need a configuration for that. You just run it, add it to your shell really quickly. But yeah, I'm not too sure, Jono. I'm not too sure on that one. Let me catch up with this. And what was Dream to Nix supposed to be doing for you? So Dream to Nix is basically a solution that the community has designed. And the main idea behind it is that it's like an all-in-one build system where instead of saying like, okay, I need a builder for Rust or okay, I need a builder for Go or like whatever, Dream to Nix can just interpret your repository and be like, okay, it's a Go repository, or okay, it doesn't support Go yet, but it's a Rust repository. It supports Node.js as well. It's a Node repository, right? And it knows how to handle that for you without you having to go out and like try and figure out, you know what I mean, what to do for a specific language. And that's like what we're looking at right now is we're evaluating it really, and we're just trying to see like, is this something we'd like to use? Problem is like it doesn't really seem to be working. At least their documentation doesn't seem to really be working. Now, I'll be clear. Cran, again, if you join our community, Cran was nice enough to share with me. Oh, sweet. Thank you, dude. Thank you, Glam. I appreciate that. I've been dealing with this forever, and I hate it. Okay, cool. But yeah, Cran was nice enough to give us a working example, right? The challenge is like, I wanted to see a working example from the docs, and it doesn't really look like it was going to get... Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, the documentation really didn't work well. Like, here, I'll go through the docs one more time just so that you guys see. So if I delete this really quickly, I can do init, right? And basically what they do is they say you run Nix Flake init, and then you can actually run it from a flake. So I'm doing Nix Flake init from a flake, Dream2 Nix, and I'm doing a simple project, essentially. Oh, you wrote a nod to Nix. Okay, cool. And I should really, you'll see, you just create a simple Nix thing. If I do Nix Flake show, right, I should be able to do that. But the problem is that for some reason, their function here, which is supposed to make flake outputs, is not making the outputs for apps. Right? Error apps attribute not set. So this is something that like I would have to debug and basically get Dream2 Nix working. I'm not going to do that because I don't really want to. But what I can do is I can instead use the ones that Cran has given us as a suggestion as well. So let's do that. Let's try the ones that Cran has suggested. So Cran, I am actually going to try the one you suggested first, which was the super highly abstracted one. Now remember, guys, and I'm going to be clear with you on this. Nix is a functional programming language with the idea of abstraction. So what I'm about to show you with regards to the flake.nix here is very abstracted. And again, if you weren't here earlier, I can break it down really quickly so that you understand it. By the way, don't worry about the group or the command wall chat. It happens to everybody. Happens the first time. It's a rite of passage. Welcome and enjoy all the commands that you get. Yeah, it is a lot of commands. All right, let me catch up with chat. Daniel, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're asking, my bud. I don't know what EBN is. Yes, I have never. Yeah, exactly. Let's get something. Oh, calm down, Cran. I understand. Dream2 Nix. Thank you very much, sir. Very much, sir. You can't, so tech at scale, you actually cannot DM or send secret message. Like, actually, that's not even a thing anymore. They're slowly removing that ability on Twitch, but bots basically can't message people. Yeah, they don't let them do it. If we use Nix on a building machine with some Git summary, how do we do it? Because I see you have to open the Nix shell every time. So Destro, that's a whole other conversation. There are options out there like Hercules CI, and they kind of like help you like figure that out, you know? And there's a lot of like tools that can help you in CI. I'd recommend taking a look at some of that stuff. Yeah. Or again, ask in our community, ask in our Discord. I don't have that perfect answer for you right now, but if you ask in the Nix Trinity channel, I'm sure Cran or somebody else will get back to you. Like, again, we do have a lot of really knowledgeable people in there. Yeah, DDoS, yeah. Lay off the acid, bro. The command wall, yeah. I guess we all know what keyboard you... Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. So tech at scale, that's the real play going forward, honestly. It's just going to be a URL that people go to. Yeah. All right. So again, this Dream2 Nix didn't work, but I am going to at least show you for now. Yo, the Rob White Twitch. What's up, dude? Thank you for the 25 months. 25 months, dude. 2 years, bro. Rob White Twitch, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you. I was just gonna say Rob White, but then I was like, I guess I should call you by your full name, your Christian name. You know what I mean? The Rob White Twitch. You know what I mean? How's it going, buddy? Thank you for the 25 months, dude. All right. Okay, cool. So this flake that I'm showing you here, and actually I'm just gonna like, I know that like we're doing this for like funsies and whatnot, but like I'm gonna use Nix format really quickly. Nix format, bam. Okay, that should make it so, yeah, there we go. All right, so let's look at our inputs first. So we've got Nix packages, we've got flake. I swear to God, Cran, you gotta stop doing this to me, bro. I use something, you're immediately like, Cran, do you realize, Cran, I need to be honest with you on something here. Do you realize that every time I make a suggestion, you make a counter suggestion? Like, do you realize that that is a literal constant within our friendship? That literally any time I make a suggestion on something I'm doing, you literally always give me a different suggestion. Like, it's never like, yeah, bro, that's good. It's always like, you can do it this way. Like, but like, I get that. Like, it's just like, I need to be real with you. It's that's Nix though, and that is great, and I do love that. But you need to understand the concept of the word practical. Like practical. Like, it's one thing to be modern and like edge and like all that shit, but like the practicality, or even pragmatic. Like we gotta get work done, bro. Like work needs to get done at some point. You understand it? No, I know. But perfectionism isn't also isn't also, what is it called? Like perfectionism isn't realistic. Yeah, that's the word. You can't. Nothing is perfect. Sorry. No, I know. And again, I really do appreciate it. It's just funny because like every time I work on something and it's Nix related, it's like, let's do this differently, and then I like go down this rabbit hole. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so we've got inputs here. We've got 3 inputs. We've got Dream to Nix, right? Which is what we've already been talking about. It's this like, generalized system that enables us to build all these different types of languages. And in this case, we want to build one for our flippin' Rust application that we were going to try and work on today. That probably won't happen. And so anyways, we've got flake parts. Flake parts is basically just a helper package that helps you build flakes and stuff. And then Nix packages is obviously where we get all of our packages from. We then have outputs, right? Outputs is actually taking our inputs and then immediately returning a make flake derivation. So what we're doing is we're saying inputs.flakeparts.lib make flake. We then make a flake and we inherit the inputs in it. So basically what's happening here, to try and explain it to you, chat, is it looks more like, this is one of the things I'm getting used to about functional programming, but it technically looks better when it's like this. And the reason for that is because this is a function, right, that is taking a parameter and then it's using it as to call another function here, right? So what we're doing is outputs itself is really this big function right here. This is a whole function, right? And then it returns another function like this. This is called, what is it? Currying? Is that what it's called, chat? Currying, whatever. But the idea is that we have a function that's returning a function. And so inputs is then be able to be used because we have it as a parameter from the first function. And that is then using the flake parts value lib make flake, right? So we're accessing inputs from the function that we're calling it from, right? So inputs, blah, 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 make flake. Okay, so now we are in our second function, right? That function takes 2 parameters. The first parameter is all of the inputs and stuff that we provide it. And then the second one is the configuration for the flake itself. And so once we've provided it all of the inputs from up here, right? Then what we do is we tell it, all right, well, the systems we build for is x86 64 Linux. The imports that we're going to use is inputs Dream to Nix. Again, remember, because inputs is available to us from the call here and the call here. So then we have it here. Dream to Nix, Flake module beta, and then we say per system. Now, you might recognize this kind of from what I was doing before in the original Flake, which was supported systems, for all systems, and then like iterating through this function, right? Whereas here, it looks like they actually made it an attribute that then passes packages, config, and this spread operator, which gives you everything else, basically. So at this point, we're then calling another function, right, in per system, and we're passing it the parameters of packages, config, and everything else, just kind of like how we're doing up here with inputs, right? Except for we're specifically saying what we're passing here, right? And then we return our attribute set of the configuration. And this is going to call Dream to Nix, input self source, inputs self. And so that basically calls itself. And the source in this case is the source of the directory that we're in. All right, let's give this a shot. Let's see what happens. So we're going to say Nix Flake show. Hey, look at that, chat. And of course, again, I had full confidence that that was going to work the first time. Oh my God, Felix. Dude, Felix, thank you so much, my dude. Are we doing this again? Felix, dude, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs, my man. Thank you, thank you. Collaborative rocker, legendary Marvin, dude, Marvin, Nagato, Restarted, and Snoo. Please be sure to thank your gifted sub. Dude, thank you so much, buddy. How are you? Hello, Felix. What is up, dude? First try Nix Flake feels so good. Yeah. Well, again, it didn't really work the first time, but it is now. So, okay. Now that we've got Nix Flake show, let's try some other things. Now, when I do Nix Flake show, what I'm doing is I'm showing everything that Nix itself or this Flake is going to output, right? So you'll see that we've got apps x84-64 Linux, checks x84-64 Linux, dev shells x64 or x84-64 Linux, and then look, build configs. We get a dev environment for build configs, and then we also get a default one as well. We get a formatter. I guess these are like packages and overlays that get generated. And then this is the actual packages that get built. And if you look here, build configs is one of those packages, right? And so let's do this now. Let's do Nix develop dot, and look what's going to happen. It's going to start building our Rust application underneath the scenes or behind the scenes using Dream to Nix. Look, there's Rust C. Bam. So we know that this is Rust, and we know that it's resolving Rust properly because it's actually grabbing Rust C, and it's going to compile our application with that. So again, this is why Dream to Nix is really like, shut up, Cran. I know why Dream to Nix is nice, okay? And I understand the power that we've got here. And so now, for example, if I want to do like cargo, right? Cargo run dot. Now, remember, I'm running it with cargo, right? So because I'm running it with cargo, right, it hasn't compiled all those packages. Yeah, sorry, it compiles the dev shell, not the package. Yeah, my bad. So now if I do generate, wait, how do you pass a subcommand into cargo? Or is it just -- help? Build configs. I actually don't remember. Do you do double dashes and then what you want after it? Like that? Running target build config. Oh, or is it? Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. It's just, I don't need the dot. My bad. I'm a dummy. There we go. Okay, cool. And so now you see if I run cargo run generate, then it actually runs my sub command for me, which is fine. It's breaking right now. But you can see that if I run it by default, then it's cool. Thank you, Scotty. I appreciate that. Now check it out. There's a couple things you might notice. First and foremost, you might notice that my shell changed. Right? I don't have my pretty shell that I normally do, and if I hit exit, I go back to that pretty shell. There's actually a way to fix that. You just give it the shell that you want it to execute with. So Nix shell dot, right? And then -c, the shell we want it to actually execute. And so now I have my shell again, but now I also have cargo, and I can run generate with that, right? So we have our dev shell working. Let's go back to Nix Flake show. Okay, cool. Let's try doing a Nix run really quickly. Let's see what happens if we try doing that. Okay, so it's going to build the application. And look, this is where it's actually downloading the packages, right? So in the dev shell, the packages got compiled when I ran it, right? But when we actually go to run it with Nix run, because it's going to actually build it. That's when it actually compiles the packages with it too. Yeah, I'll run it again. Yeah. There's actually not, Jono. The reason for that, at least from my understanding, is, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is because there's a lot of things that like I'm gonna be real with you. Nix was built by a lot of smart motherfuckers. Like, they're some smart people. And when I started to try and dissect, because I was in the same boat as you were, my friend. I was like, can I just make this default to this all the time so I don't have to write this stupid extra part? Nix shell, way low underneath the hood, does a bit of like bash foo. And it literally requires, like, it really requires bash. Because bash, or because of like, I think it's like the RC file that it uses is specific to bash. And like ZSH, for example, doesn't support this RC file. And so you technically are using bash to then run your shell. And because of that, that's what enables you to get like all of your environment variables and like everything linked properly, is because of this RC. Again, I don't remember exactly what its name of it is, but it's an RC file that's dedicated basically for bash and again, helping with that customization of shell. And because of that, it like Nix run only uses bash, and then you just pass it that. Yeah. So durimp helps with that for sure. Yeah. Okay. So, again, if we go back to the flake, like, this works, honestly, like this works. What did you say? You said, which formatter did you say I should use? Which formatter did you say I should use, Cran? Dang it. That's one of the things that is a bit of a bummer is you never know how many shells deep you are. Okay. Nix. Wait, is it Nix packages format? Like, is it literally that, or is it just, or Alejandra? Well, I mean, I don't know how to use either of these. So Nix packages format. Okay. It looks identical. It looks identical. Okay. I'm just gonna leave this the way it is for now. If you add formatter equals to your outputs, then you can use Nix format. Nix also breaks with some scripts that hardcore interpret, e.g. bind to pod. Yeah. If you add formatter to equals to outputs, well, there is a formatter here though. Nix Flakes show. Yeah, see, we have a formatter. So what does that mean? Does that mean I can do like Nix run formatter? How does that work? Nix FMT does not provide formatter for x80. Well, that doesn't make sense though, because I have one. Oh, but I don't have it for x84 64 Linux. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, so what I'd have to do then, okay, hold on. Let me do this by myself. Shut up, okay? Just shh. Would I just do this? Nix packages. Like something like that? Inside per system. Oh, inside per system. Oh, right. Okay, I see. So we would do this. See, I already it up. Okay, so yeah, so then we do formatter like this. No? This is inside Dream to Nix. Oh, okay, I see. These are the inputs. Okay, I see. So these are the inputs, and then these are our outputs. Dot formatter, like this. This is what you're saying? No? What the outside of Dream to Nix. Oh, okay. I think I see. Kind of. I don't understand why. Because wouldn't this just turn into this? Like, how do you get, like, how does per system? Okay, see, now you just done confused me again. What does per system represent then? What is the attribute set that this is supposed to represent? Would this not just be inputs and outputs? Like here? What's up, Morano Fox? How's it going? Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. This is flake. Okay, so this is specific to. Okay, hold on. All right, this is specific to flake parts. Okay, packages, apps, checks, dev shells, formatter, legacy. Okay, so then packages. How is packages being? Dog, help me understand how any of these are being translated here. Dude, I swear to God, I'm gonna put my head through a window. How there? None of these are here. You're not using any of this. Like, packages isn't here, apps isn't here, apps isn't here, apps isn't here, checks isn't here, debug isn't here, like dev shells isn't here, formatter's not here, legacy packages in here. Where the is any of this when it comes to declaring this? We import imports adds another module per system, which is Dream to Nix. You're not making me easy. I'm gonna be real. Nix is not making it itself easy to educate. It's not. It's not. Scotty, Cran, I love you both, but like, dog, we are not making this shit easy to learn. Like, and as like a DevOps engineer and somebody who's like trying to be better at education, like, it's God. It's one step forward, 3 steps back. Like, holy crap. I mean, yeah, that's fair. You've been doing this for a long time. It's just like, honestly, it seems like for you to fully understand Nix, you really need to understand functional programming. You know what I mean? Because like, now that I understand what you're saying, I guess I get it. But like, God damn, this is the level of extractions is just like, holy crap. I don't know any programming. I just know Nix and Bash. I mean, dog, listen, it doesn't surprise regardless, it doesn't surprise me that you wouldn't be good with Nix. Like, if all you know is Nix, then you'd probably be like a friggin' god at it, you know what I mean? Like, I get that. All right. So per system dot formatter is what we want, right? And then packages dot Nix packages format, right? So that's all. That should be all we need, right? Goodness gracious, great balls of fire, dude. Infinite recursion? Oh, I have recursion somewhere? Sweet. Should this be a REC? Is that what or like, why am I not? As the module seems to be over your head. Okay, we got to work on your phrasing, dog. I love you, but man, we got to work on your phrasing. It's not that it's over my head. It's that it's really abstracted. Okay, man, maybe it is over my head, but you don't got to be that blunt about it, right? Rec binding isn't related. Okay, so why am I getting a recursion here? If packages is a variable, why would I be getting a recursion here? And this will be the last thing we do, because I am kind of curious on how to hook up a formatter. I gave bad advice. Nix format. Oh, okay, Jono. Okay, cool. Why would we be getting recursion? I don't get it. Maybe maybe it's not just hold on. Null or package. Okay. Okay. That seems like it would be right. Is it because we're doing the Dream to Nix thing? And like the module is like overriding all of the inputs here? I'm going to give this like one more minute, and then if we can't figure out in the next minute, we're just going to move on. I must be missing something on your screen because it works for me. Really? Packages, Nix packages format. Here, let's try it again. Nix Flake show. Yeah, I'm getting a recursion. Show trace. Let's see where it is. Jesus. File. Yeah, I don't understand why this isn't working. This actually should be working. Right? Check Discord. Okay. That's yours? All right, let me put it next to mine. So, I mean, I'm here. Let me reformat this. Here. Comment that out. There we go. So, inputs. Move all this over one more. So, outputs, inputs flake parts, lib make flake, inherit inputs. That's identical. Systems, x86 64 Linux, that's identical. Imports. Oh, I have the frickin' formatter in there twice. That's what it was. I had the formatter in there twice. Yeah, I have the formatter in there twice. Yeah. Okay. Nix Flake show. Bam. Nix Flake or Nix format. Dude, that's cool that you. Okay, I will. Okay, that is pretty cool. All right, shut up, chat. All right, that's pretty cool that you can do that. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, that actually is pretty cool. You don't need to give the red. Oh, you don't? Oh, okay, cool. So if I just do this. Nice. Okay. I do like that. That is pretty cool. All right. See, this is why I let Cran, still educate me, because I still get to learn cool stuff. And all of you guys as well. I appreciate all of your help. Seriously. Thank you guys. Just wait till you find about tree format. All right. Well, we'll find out about that later. Okay. I'm not worried about that right now. All right, cool. So we have our flake here, and honestly, like, sure, we'll stick with Dream to Nix. I'm fine with sticking with Dream to Nix for now. That's, it is what it is. It's fine. What is this use flake thing? I like the formatter. Dir-env. Oh, okay, cool. So feature, actually we'll say this. We'll say refactor flake. Use Dream to Nix instead of Nersk, I think is what it's called. I'm serious. Okay, that's fine. Hold on. Let me just commit this then so that I know it's working, and then we'll move over to the final one. All right, so that is using Dream whatever. All right, so let's get rid of all this. We're going to make one more flake. We're going to do this a few times just so that we're all on the same page. Okay. All right, so the next one I'm going to show you guys is how to build it without basically really anything, using it natively. Okay. Let me copy this really quickly. All right. Yeah, no, you're fine. Touch flake.nix. All right, so we're going to create one more flake, and again, we're just going to do it again just so that we really are getting an understanding of how these flakes work and what we're doing, right? Okay, so we deleted our old flake, and now we have a completely new flake here. So let's take a look at this flake and what it does, all right? So what we're going to do... Oops. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I like to format things like that. That's just like a personal preference. I like nice alphabetical orders on my imports. All right. So let's go through this one. Yeah, this one will definitely make yeah, what's up, Nagato? This one will definitely make a bit more sense as we walk through it. Okay. The song makes me want to jam out. Dude, I love jamming out to the Tron soundtrack. I'm not even kidding you. D-Reser is like one of my favorite. I'm just gonna focus and get a ton of done. All right, cool. All right, so here we go. So we understand inputs. I'm not gonna go over inputs. If you want to learn more about inputs, subscribe to the YouTubes and go look at the VODs and whatnot. We have systems. Again, I'm gonna move systems. We'll keep systems up there right now for now. So okay, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Inputs. We have flake parts as an input, and we have Nix packages as an input, right? Cool, sounds good. All right, so then we declare our outputs. Our outputs is still using flake parts. So just like we did before in the previous flake.nix, where we're doing inputs, flake parts, lib, make flake, this is a common way of making flakes. Now, I told you guys that within the Nix world, even in the functional world, there's a lot of reusability, a lot of abstraction. So you'll see across a lot of repositories, flake parts being used a lot, or flake utils being used a lot. Like, these are common libraries that are in the community that are okay to use, that a lot of people use as well, right? So we're gonna make a flake with this, right? And we're gonna inherit our inputs that we have from here. Sound good? Cool. Okay, so now we're gonna create our attribute set, right? This attribute set is what's our actual flake is going to represent. And as Cran mentioned before, right, we know that all of our options are basically here: debug, flake, like all of these things are options for us, right? So let's go through them. We have systems, right? And systems is where we tell it what operating systems we want to be able to build on. In this case, we're just going to do x86, 64, though we could also add, like, you know, arch, I don't know what the rest of it is, but you get my point. We could add other architectures there if we wanted to very easily. And then the next one is per system. So this is actually the definite, thank you, I appreciate that. This is the actual per system definition or configuration where pretty much all of our stuff goes, right? So for per system, we're going to, just like we do up here with inherit, right? We're going to grab the parameters that we want. In this case, there'll be packages, lib, config, and then this spread. From my understanding, this spread adds everything else. Is that correct, Cran? So the idea here is that packages, lib, and config are what we target, whereas this adds everything else to the actual function as well. This is like a spread operator. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correct? Tron soundtrack pushed you into the synthwave? Dude, I was into synthwave way before the Tron soundtrack. Your boy's a pretty big nerd. Dude, I was in the, you want to know when I was in the synthwave, bro? I was into synthwave on whipping the llama's ass with some Winamp, man. The old Winamp days and the radio stations on Winamp. That's what got me into synthwave and like drum and bass and stuff. Oh god, so good. Anyway, sorry, I'm old. Let's keep moving. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, spread operator, whatever. Yeah, dude, Winamp was the jam back in the day. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, custom skins. It allows to pass everything else but anonymously, so you don't actually reference it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Hell yeah. I love it when like a bunch of like old nerds go like, oh! You know what I mean? It's like that meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's like, you know what I mean? We're all just like, oh yeah, I know that one. I love you guys. You're the best. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Now, if you don't know much about the Nix language, right, you probably won't understand what the let in part is here, right? It's also in Haskell, so it's not just it's in a lot of like functional programming languages. But the idea here is that before we declare our attribute set, right, we're going to declare some variables that fit in the scope of that attribute set. And that's what let does here. So let in allows us to basically bind variables for the scope of the attribute set that we're trying to use, right? And so in this case, what we're doing is we're actually inheriting everything from our cargo.toml. Now, this is a little interesting, so I'll try and break it down the best I can because I think I'm reading this right. So it looks like what's happening is we're taking the lib.import. Cran, don't say anything. All right, Cran, before you try explaining what this does, let me explain it so that I can. No. I'll open the REPL. Hold on, just give me a second. I wanna do this. All right, you ready? So remember, packages in lib are being used as parameters, right? So lib in this case is basically the Nix packages libraries, right? The helper libraries. And so in lib, we do something called import toml, right? Now import toml does exactly what it sounds like it does. It allows you to read a toml file and import it as data. And so in this case, what we do is we then say, all right, well, we also need to evaluate our toml file and its path. And so what we do is we say inputs.self plus cargo.toml. Now, if we just did this without the parentheses, it would simply evaluate the path. It'd simply just put these two together. However, because we want to use it with import.toml, we evaluate it by wrapping it in parentheses. And so that's why it's not just this, right? But it's actually being evaluated here. So import.toml then gets that whole path that it has to import, right? These functions fire these functions fire one after another, right? So we first import toml, and then we actually it would evaluate this first, and then it would do the import toml, but you get my idea. Once we have the import toml evaluated, it looks like we then declare it or we basically inject those values into package, right? And so package now becomes a usable variable. So basically what we're doing, chat, is we're importing the cargo.toml, right? So here, if we open up cargo.toml, right, we have name, version, edition, dependencies. Well, look, package.name, right? So this is another thing that's super nice about Nix in the language, right, is that it has a ton of really cool helpers that allow you to like load data and like do all these other things. And so in this case, what we're doing is we're basically reading the cargo.toml and we're evaluating it to its own variable that we can use when we declare our packages in our flake, right? And so in this case, we're saying, all right, packages becomes package.name is the key, right? So I don't even actually, like, technically what this would be if I didn't have this variable, it would be build configs, right? Because that's the name of the package, right? But because we're parsing the cargo.toml, and again, this is, to Cran's justice, he is thinking about it from a completely abstracted purpose on every level, right? How can I abstract the name so that I can reuse this a bunch? How can I do this so that I can reuse this a bunch, right? So that's a big reason why he's like making things so generic is because it's a lot of what Nix does. It's a lot about reusability as well, right? So in this case, technically, as long as I had a cargo.toml and a cargo.lock file, I could do this with any Rust application, right? That's the bare bones basically here. Okay, so let's keep moving. So we've got packages, package name, which in this case becomes, again, build configs. And then we do packages, Rust platform, build Rust package. Now, I know what this is. To be fair, I know what Rust platform is. Rust platform is basically the libraries that are official to Nix packages to building Rust packages. And so if you do Nix packages, build Rust package, there should be somewhere in the manual about it, basically. So we go here, build Rust package, and see, there you go. So you can see here, Rust platform, build Rust package, and then this is basically what we're declaring, right? And so what he's doing is he's saying, all right, well, we're going to inherit package, right? And we're going to get the version from it, right? So we're going to inherit package, and then from package, we're going to inherit that specific version value, right? And if we look back here, we'll see that in Rust package, we need a version, right? And so that's basically how we set the version by inheriting it directly from the cargo.toml, right? The next thing we do is we get the cargo lock file. So we tell it, all right, well, now that you know what the version of it is, you need to know what the lock file looks like so that we have the ability to check for all of the packages, right? And so just like we did up here with our cargo.toml, we do the exact same thing again. However, what's the difference here, chat? We're not importing that, right? Up here, we actually import toml, right, to then read that toml and parse it. But here, we don't care about that. We just need the lock file. So what do? We simply just give it self plus cargo lock, which will evaluate that path for us, right? And you might be like, BG, why are you doing input self? Why don't you just do this, right? Well, the reason why is because inputs.self is actually the path in our Nix store, right? When it gets built, it's going to be injected into this Nix store, and it's not just going to be local. So it's better for us to provide the exact URL to the exact build, or sorry, not URL, the exact path to the exact build's cargo.lock to make sure we always rebuild the same way, right? Package.name, pname, pretty straightforward. Package.name, package.name, and then source finally inputs.self. Self in this case is simply just the path to our source code that is in right now. And you'll notice that we also have this default here. Now, Cran, I find this interesting that you did this because honestly, if we really wanted to simplify this even just a slight bit more, we could technically take the package block here, right, and move it here. As a matter of fact, let's do that really quick. Just for proof of concept to show you guys how simple it is to use these values, right? If we just do this, right, we just paste this here, we have effectively just gotten rid of using a variable for the package itself, and now we just have a default package, right? So I'm going to undo that because I don't mind keeping it this way, but that is something to note, which is right now what Cran did was he basically made a package, a named package in the flake, and then he set that to the default here. And so that's why he's doing config packages, package name, right? Cool. Last thing, dev shells.default. And he's doing exactly what I said you could do, which is he's setting just the default for making a shell. And so you'll see here, make shell packages with packages, cargo, Rust C, Rust format. So now if we do this one more time and we do Nix Flake show, look at that. We once again get our flake created with flake util, or I'm sorry, flake, is it flake utils? No, it's flake, what is it? Flake parts, my bad, with flake parts, right? We get our apps, our checks, our dev shells, all of that, right? Now, we don't actually have it, right? You'll see that we have something for x84, 64 Linux, but we don't actually get that dev shell, right? And so that's where Dream Nix kind of goes the distance here a bit further than something like using just the native builder, right? Dream Nix actually gives us our wired up apps, our wired up, everything else that we need, versus this just gives us, like you'll see that, again, we only have really what we've defined in it. Now, personally for me, and this is where Cran is saying like, BG, you don't understand it. And that's fine. I do understand it, but it's abstraction that I have to recall and remember, right? Here in this flake, and one of the reasons why I do like this flake is it's very direct. Right? We know exactly what's happening. We have our inputs, right? We have our outputs. We have the flake being set up the way that it should be. And then right after that, it's all agnostic. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's agnostic to Rust, right? We can only build a Rust package now. But because of that, we're now talking just directly in Rust terms, right? Where's my lock file? What's my package name? What's the source? Where's the source located, right? What are the dev shells? What are the packages that are required? So when we talk again about let's go back to the Dream to Nix approach for a second. Like here, let me do, can I just I don't know if I can just open up let's do this. Let's just go to the Dream Nix for a second. So I'm going to go back to the Dream to Nix example that Cran gave us. All right. And we're going to compare them side by side. All right. Set. How do I set, I want to set the syntax Nix. Can I do that? How do I set syntax? Is it Nix? There we go. Okay, cool. All right. So, oh, it's not exactly because I have parsing and stuff as well. But all right, so let's compare the two, right? Look at how simpler Cran's is, the first one, than the one that we have now, right? But again, when we look at these two and we compare them, right, inputs is pretty much the same, right? We've got our input. Like inputs will pretty much always be the same, right? Whereas outputs is dramatically different, right? Outputs is dramatically different in the sense that, like, here, we'll flip it. Outputs is just input flake parts, right? Just like we do before, right? So same as it is over here. But then once we do that, it's just, bam, we just inject Dream to Nix here, right? Like that's it. There's no, okay, well, what's the package? Where's the cargo? Like it just knows how to do all of that stuff. Right. And so, again, going back to what Cran was showing us and why he was showing us this is like this doesn't just work for Rust. This also works for Node. This can work for basically anything that Dream to Nix supports underneath the hood. And it's one flake configuration. So when we talk about building and making sure we have good reproducibility as well as like a lot of other things, it's not bad in any way, shape, or form that we're doing that. You know what I mean? It's just that, like, unless you understand what is going on, you know what I mean? It's going to be very difficult to decipher this flake versus deciphering this flake. Now, again, they both solve the same problems. As a matter of fact, they're both very similar in a lot of ways, but the user experience and how that's set up is much different, right? This one is much more direct, right? This one is much more just like, all right, this is what it is, you know? And this is everything we need. Okay, cool. So I actually, to be honest with you, I kind of like the Nix Flake, or I kind of like the Dream to Nix one better. And yeah, you could use more explicit. Thank you. Yeah. And yes, we could use Crane directly though, if we wanted to. We absolutely could. Yeah. And so what we'll do here is we'll say, C feature or refactor flake use what is it called, build Rust package from Nix packages, right? Bam. So now we're using, and again, like it doesn't like super matter a bunch, you know, at the end of the day, like I should be able to pretty much do everything that I want to do. Now I'm going to make a couple of changes here. I am actually going to make a couple of changes here. So the first change I am going to make is I am going to make this default. So I actually just now decided I do want to make this default. And there's a reason for that. Don't worry. So we're going to get rid of all this. I'm going to paste that in like that. Right? We're going to do that. The next thing we're going to do as well is we're going to add our formatter. So actually, we'll add our formatter in a second. Let's add our apps. I want to get so good at writing this stuff that I don't have to remember. I don't have to like look it up. So I think it's apps. And then we should have default equals, right? And then I think it's program equals, right? And then inputs. Oh no, I should just be able to do config packages default / bin / build configs. I'm not looking at this. I'm not looking. Just hold on. Type equals is it app, I think? Config packages default. I'm not looking at the screen chat. I don't care if you're helping me. Okay. Nix Flake show. It did that at least. Nix run. I think I did it. Shut up. I already finished it when I looked. Yes! I know how to add apps on my own without having to look. Hell yeah. All right, I'm getting used to the flake document, or I'm getting used to like the flake syntax now. Cool. That makes me feel good. Okay, so let's add a formatter really quickly. Formatter equals packages Nix packages format, right? Nix Flake show. Nix format. Hey, there we go. Yeah. All right, sorry. I just love learning stuff and then getting good at it. All right. So C refactor, or we'll actually just say feature flake minor cleanup to I'll just say minor cleanup. Okay. This looks, and again, like I know, you know, we could have something smaller, but this isn't that bad for now. Okay, so I should be able to Nix develop as well. The big problem with using Rust platform is that they aren't even at 1.60 yet. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? You mean like the Rust compiler it's using is only 1.60? Is that what you're saying? Mismatch between definition and active config, unknown group or ID. Make sure. Yeah. Yo, Golden Ratio, thank you so much for the gifted sub, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. You can override it. Yeah, yeah, no. We're probably just gonna go back to using Dream to Nix, honestly. You know what? Let's do it. Now that I've shown you guys the basic example, we're just gonna go back to using Dream to Nix. Actually, no, we're not. We're not. We're going to focus on programming now. Okay, we've done enough Nix stuff for now. I've got like 30 minutes to program before I have to leave. So let's get some programming in here, okay? All right. So I should be able to do Nix run, right? When's the next 24-hour stream? Bro, we've never done a 24-hour stream. I don't know if I could do that, to be honest. That would be slightly difficult. There we go. Cool. So generate config. Beautiful. Okay, cool. And so if I do generate help. Oh wait. None. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, my brain would be fried after this much time. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's jump into Rust now. Okay. We're going to do some Rust in at least for the next 30 minutes or so, at least whatever I've got. All right. So we said that we wanted to update our flake configuration, right? And actually here, let me do this. Let me turn these into like bulleted lists here. To-do list. Yeah. To-do list, right? So to-do list, dude, I love Notion. I really do. You know, I hate Confluence. God, I hate Confluence. But I have to use it at work, and Notion just like makes my life so much nicer when I can use it. Okay, so we updated our flake, right? Now we want to implement the DSL in Rust types. Okay, now we said that we wanted to use ChatGPT to help us here. All right, so we are going to do that. We are going to use ChatGPT to help us here. All right, so you ready for this? Here's what we're going to do. Show an example of this JSON defined in a Rust struct, right? And so we're going to do da-da-da, and then we'll do bum, 1, 2, name, my app, 1, 2, language, TypeScript, right? And then type Pulumi, right? And then we'll even say Pulumi example. What? Oh crap. I probably need to refresh my page. Okay, here we go. We are moving to Jira Confluence work. I have no idea what it is. Confluence has to be one of the. I was worried that I was gonna have to use Saturday. Yeah, no, it's using Saturday. Yeah. The deserial, yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. So we set up our struct, name, language type. Name language type, Saturday. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Since it's saying Saturday, Rust, Saturday, let's just go to Saturday really quickly and let's see what we need to do here. Okay, cool. So, whoa, hello. Okay, Saturday model attributes. So I believe to install it, right? You just do like cargo install, right? Cargo add. Yeah, cargo add. It didn't derive. Yeah, exactly. Well, I know. Then that's why I'm not like relying on this directly. Yeah, that's why I'm not relying on this directly. So Saturday, I think, is the only thing we care about, right? So add Saturday. I don't think we have any plugins or anything like that we need. Okay. And then we'll go to our source. All right. And so let's just create our struct, right? Let's create our struct. So in this case, what did I say our struct was? Here, I'll just copy this. Or I want to write it so that I remember it. So struct build config, right? We'll say that our struct in this case is going to be a build config. And then we will say that we've got the name, which is a string, right? That's capital. Okay. String. We've got the language, which is a string. And then we've got the type, which is a string. Okay. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do really quickly before I... Wait. Oh. String should have snake case? What? Oh, is type... Wait, can I not use type here? What? Is it... Okay, it's reserved across the board. Oh, I didn't know it'd be reserved inside structs. Okay, that's new. Can I do it like this? Okay, so we do it like this. We do everything uppercase, which I'm down for. How do I make sure that I parse it as lowercase? Type should have a snake case name. Mother... Okay, you're really going to do this to me. Okay, all right. We could call this template. Types, maybe? Well, we only need one type. You know what I mean? Like, it's the template type is really what it is. Build config. Yeah, template. I mean, template works. Name, language, and template. Yeah, template works. We can use template for now. That's fine. Okay, so we've got that. Let's derive. We need to derive now, right? We need to derive. So let's do that. Let's derive. So let's move this over here so that we've got these side by side and I can read this a little bit better. All right, so we're going to derive serial. Okay, so before I do that, let me go here. Let me use it. So use Saturday, and then we're going to get serialize, and then we're also going to get deserialize. Oh my God, I look like I'm a Rust streamer. Dude, I know Rust chat. Wink, wink. No, I definitely don't. Deserialize, and then debug. Debug? What is debug supposed to be? Oh, it's just it's a core macro. Okay. Did I like not spell these right? Serialize, deserialize, and debug, right? Cannot find macro What? What am I missing here? Is this because I don't have macros enabled or something? I forget about there's something I have to enable, right? If I want to use macros. Maybe. What am I missing? What am I missing here? I swear to God, it's something simple. I just don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was. Okay, so cannot find derive macro. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, small built-in after Rust. You needed to derive. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So how do I do that? How do I add? Do I just add derive? So here, Rust cargo add derive. Look at the line above. Oh, it's just a feature. Oh, okay. So if I okay, got you. Okay, I see. So we should be able to do features, right? Features. Yeah. Okay. So let's update our Saturday because we did the same thing with clap, right? Saturday feature. Oh, yep. Derive STD. Okay, I see. Yep. I love you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So now we should be good. Bam! Shanae. There we go. Sorry. Okay, so... Okay, so we've got this, and we've got our structure now, right? So what I should be able to do is let's go down here, and then let's do... let config equals build config, right? We'll just give a basic build config of like a name of like Pulumi example, right? A language of TypeScript, and then a template. Now, actually, hold on. You know what, chat? No, I don't want to do this. The reason why is because technically I want these mamma jammas to be enums. How can we handle enums? Can we handle enums? Does Rust even have enums? Okay, there we go. I was like, for a second there, I was like, does Rust even have enums? Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that. Okay, structs and enums in JSON. They're God tier. Okay, all right. So here, let's do this. New chat. Show me an example of a Rust enum with the following values. So we want TypeScript, Go, and then we also want Rust. That's it. Okay. So enum build language, right? We'll call it build language. Keep with that same build. TypeScript, Go, Rust. And you know what? For gits and shiggles, we'll add Nix too, just because we love Nix, chat. That's why we're going to do that one. Okay, so if that's the case, then language should be build language, right? Like that should be all I need to do with that, right? Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, mama. I pissed something off. Okay. What? Wait, what? How does this tell me how to use enums with Saturday? Oh, it needs derive as well? What exactly? Can somebody give... Okay, here. You know what? No. Screw this. ELIF, what derive is in Rust. It was so confused for a second. I I confused it. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Does it in Rust the is written as EL? Oh, okay. So it did. Yeah. No. You tried. It's okay. You tried. You did your best. You tried. Let's try that again. Explain to me as of 5 what the derive macro is in Rust programming language. We'll say is used for in the Rust programming language. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's what I thought it did. I just wasn't sure. Is this correct, by the way, chat? Can anyone confirm this? Derive. Okay, hang on one second. So the derive macro in Rust programming language is used to automatically implement certain traits for a struct or enum. For example, the derive debug annotation can be added to a struct to automatically implement the debug trait. Oh, wow. I love you, ChatGPT. Okay, so if I want to be able to serialize something, and the reason why this is failing is because it doesn't have these two on it. Is not satisfied. Okay, I see. Consider annotating. Okay, and I guess debug as well. Debug seems to be something it kind of always wants. Nice, we fixed it. Seriously delicious. Ugh, Russ. What's up, DeVito? How's it going, buddy? We're trying it, man. All right. We're trying it. Trying. The word is trying, okay? DeVito, and for anyone else, by the way, who seriously, if you're like, yo, why are you using Rust? All right, check it out. I made a whole mamma jammin' document here, and we're going to go through it really quickly for you and anyone else, DeVito, okay? You ready for this? So the problem that we have here, by the way, I'm a senior DevOps engineer. I've been doing this for quite some time now, and my focus is on problem solving in companies, right? So when I look at a problem, I don't just go like, sweet, what's the coolest tool I could use for this, right? I really do try and look at it like it's one of the reasons why I haven't messed with Rust this long. In all seriousness, I've not had a practical reason to use it. I'm gonna be real. I could build anything I need to in Rust pretty much in any other language. And that's, to be fair, that's the point of a general purpose language, is you should be able to do a lot of the same things in a lot of other languages as well. However, the problem that we're dealing with today is that we maintain a large amount of repositories which contain similar build configurations that require us to manually update each individually when changes occurs. So what does that mean? That means that we have 100 repositories, right, of source code, and all of these repositories build somewhat similarly, right? They may have different names, but they're all Node.js, you know, they're all built maybe with Node.js, or they're all built with Go. And they all have like similar, right? And if you're at a company, this is a very common practical trait, which is like, we're going to build something in a specific way with a specific set of standardizations so that we make sure that we rebuild it at the same time. We have proper expectations around it and all that kind of stuff. So that's the problem, DeVito. All right, DeVito, you ready for that? That's the problem. So then we talk about what we have. Now, in our organization, Alta4 LLC, we have multiple like repository types. Right, so we have Docker repositories, we have Pulumi repositories, we have Quirk, which is the whole platform that we build on stream, and the recording pipeline too. And so we broke those down and we basically said like, okay, let's look at Pulumi first, right? Within the Pulumi repositories, how many languages do we have? Well, we have all of the languages that we use, and within those are Go and TypeScript, right? So, okay. Within that, what are the things that are used everywhere? What are the things that are specific to languages, right? Like all that kind of stuff. And so we look at it a bit further and we say like, okay, well, you know, all of them get a Circle CI config, right? Which gets its own, its own variables, but they're the same configuration really at the end of the day. Docker ignore, same thing. Just file, same thing. Pulumi.yaml, pretty much same thing. Now these will all get variables injected into them for the specific repository, but at the end of the day, outside of changing variable names, it's almost the exact same configuration, right? Whereas like Go, the get ignore would be different. The Docker file could be different. TypeScript, same thing, get ignore, Docker file, even tsconfig, stuff like that. So now that we have this, we kind of look at it, we go like, okay, cool. Now, how can I like generate these, right? Like I want a way to be like, okay, I've got these template files. What if instead of like writing them each time, what if I could like generate them, right? And so that's when we kind of start talking about like, well, what do we need to know to be able to generate these templates in a way that it would be, you know, configurable? And the first one is the name, right? What's the name of the repository? We said that, you know, a Circle CI config file is basically identical between all the repos except for the name of the thing it's building, right? Well, let's just make that a parameter, right, in a configuration file so that when we generate these files, it just gets injected as that name, right? And then we said like, okay, well, we've also got differences between, you know, Go and TypeScript and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Let's add another configuration value to the config or the DSL, right, that enables us to select the language that we're working with, right? TypeScript, JavaScript, or TypeScript, Go, whatever, right? This is the build language. So we've got build name, build language, right? And then the last one is we also want to know what type or what template, and we can change this to template since that's now technically what it is, the template we want to use, right? In this case, we know that it's a Pulumi template. So when we add all of those three pieces together, all of those three pieces of data together, what do we get? Well, we get a template with names that we can generate. We also get a template with specific types of files for specific languages. And we can also just select the template that we want to use in general, right? So these three very simple arguments in a JSON file already help us do so much. Now, if you guys don't know, I did a front-end master's course that is actually going to get released very soon, chat. I got to respond to, hold on, where's that email? I got to respond to one of their peeps. There we go. Yeah, she messaged me yesterday. I got to make sure I respond to that today. But that will be live. And Userin, what's up, dude? How's it going, buddy? How are you? Shout out to Userin, dude. Good to see you, my man. Yo, you want to know something crazy? I don't know if we can follow your channel. Like, dude, look at this. I follow you, and then like if I refresh, I'm not following you anymore. Oh, well now it's working. What the I swear to God, dude, I came in the other day and I was gonna sneak in a follow and it did not work. But I go to your channel all the time. Follow user and give him a follow, dude. I swear to God, it doesn't work half the time. Give me 1 second. Somebody just got to my door. I think a present may have just gotten here, chat. Hold on. Woo! Yo, chat. Dude, that follow button is one of the worst React codes I've ever seen. Okay, cool. Bro, I'm gonna be real. I thought it was me. And I was like, yeah, you saw that? So chat, guess what? Chat, my company, Hippo, has finally decided. Oh, do you guys remember when I was having the what's it called issues? The laptop issues? Does anyone in chat remember when I had those issues? Yo, a year later, I'm finally getting a new laptop. That's what just got here. They finally sent me a new laptop for work. So my laptop is 4 years old, by the way. Asylum? Did you click something you didn't mean to there, buddy? Hang on, chat. I think one of our mods may have accidentally clicked something they didn't mean to there. Did the good stuff arrive for the keyboard? It's supposed to arrive today. Asylum, are you there, dude? Did you mean to just do that? I think he may have done something by accident just now. That was a weird pop-up from mod thing that was not expecting. My bad. Okay. I was like, shh. I was like, man, why are we locking down, bro? Has it happened? Has the zombie apocalypse finally happened? We're just locking down right here. Still all ears for the Runch Pipe. Sorry, yeah, my bad. We got distracted, DeVito. I apologize. We'll get to the Runch Pipe, the Rust Pipe punchline now. So, like I said, company finally sent me. No, it's an M1. It's an M1. It's not an M2. ironically, they ordered it right before the M2s got released, so it's fine. But at least it's a new one. I'm personally going to be buying an M2, by the way, so it's really not that big of a deal to me. I think I'm going to buy one for my birthday. I think that'll be a little birthday present to myself. Asylum, thank you for the 46 months, bro. 46 months, dude. Thank you so much. Jono, I'm going to be real with you. I don't entirely disagree with you. However, it's probably one of the best laptops that you can get for development. It really is. You know what I mean? We'll fix that. I'm glad to hear we'll get that fixed. What's my keyboard? I have a Moonlander. Yeah. Thank you for the 46 months, though, dude. I appreciate that. I'm gonna buy a Mac 2 Mini. Yeah, I actually thought so. I thought about getting the Mini. Like, I agree with you all. The Mini looks like a steal. I 100% agree with you on that. The only thing is, and this is my honest to God here, I sit at this desk way too much. I'm just starting to go back to the gym recently, and like I need to get away from this. You know what I mean? I do spend too much here, and so that's one of the reasons why I really wanted them to send me a new MacBook, was because like I spend too much time sitting here, dude. I spend way too much. I have a nice patio that I can go back out and work on. Like I've got ubiquity like Wi-Fi nodes. Like there's no reason why I can't work around my house and be as efficient as possible too, you know? So that's, I mean, again, when we purely when we talk about laptops, that's it. All right, let's finish explaining this really quickly though for DeVito and anyone else. So as I said before, we've gotten to the point now where we've seen the templates we want to look at and the build configuration, or we'll say repository DSL, right? Or domain specific language, right? This is a domain specific language for us, and we'll say configuration DSL is what we'll call it, right? So we have our DSL now, which is very simple, and as a matter of fact, we've even implemented it in Rust, right? I'm going to be even horrible and ask if you have a stream that you did about Pulumi. DeVito, we do a lot of work with Pulumi, so you're fine, buddy. Don't worry. I get people like you all the time. You're good. I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't mean like people like you in any kind of rude way. So anyways, let's go to the last part here now. So we know what we want to build now, right? We know what we want to build now. We know that we want to build something that takes a configuration DSL, right? And through that DSL generates template files that we can template on our own, right? So the next part comes like, how do we get this to developers? Now, this is a massive part of what I do at my job, and this is a big reason why I'm evaluating Rust right now, okay? A lot of the tools that I have built at Hippo, because we started as a Python-based like company in a lot of ways, are built in Python. Python is not great at redistributability, right? Python requires you to package your requirements.txt. Like all of that stuff needs to be together and needs to run with the interpreter, because that's what it is. It's an interpreted language, right? It doesn't compile to a binary that's just easily redistributable, right? It's something that requires packaging and shipping and stuff like that. And yeah, they're a very big hassle. Yes, that's why I'm saying you know, generically that's how it's used, right? Node.js, same thing. Right? Anything that's really an interpreted language, right, has a requirement of having to have all the code with it together, whether it's your package or a bunch of other modules that you need as well, right? All of them together and then interpreted and ran at runtime, right? And so what the challenge there is like, if I want to tell a developer, hey, I want you to just download this binary and run this in your repository. If they can't do that, or if they can't just run and, download and run, they're not going to use the tools that we build for them. And that is actually something we see right now as an issue at Hippo for us. There's a lot of tools that we built, but because we built them in Python, people don't know how to set up Python. They don't know how to do the virtual env even. There's a lot of challenges there that they just don't know how to do. And so when I start thinking about that, that's when a binary solution kind of comes into play here. And when we talk about binary solutions, the two big ones for me are going to be Go and Rust, right? Now, I've used Go for a long time, right? I'm very knowledgeable with Go. And if we look at Go, it's very simple. It builds to a binary. It's easy to maintain. It's fast and efficient. Here is the drawback, though, or one of the drawbacks, and one of the reasons why we wanted to try investing into Rust. At Hippo, we use Jinja. And we have found at Hippo that Jinja as a templating engine is very, very powerful. It's helped us with a lot. Handlebars is very similar in that sense. When we use an actual templating, like a full templating engine, there's a lot of really great benefits to it. Go has a built-in templating like thing, but it's not like a fully built out like engine, in my opinion. You can do a lot with it. Don't get me wrong. And if you go to the last VOD, again, check out the YouTube. Look at our last VOD from the last stream, right? And you'll notice that I compare the two, right? The problem with Go is Go at the end of the day wants to solve it from a functional standpoint, meaning that like if you want to pass a function down to the template, you actually have to pass it through the data and actually access it as like a thing. So like if I wanted a function, it'd be like data.myfunction, right? And then in the code, I'd have to be like .data my function, and then like so it's just much more focused on like programmatic approach to templating. I'm not super interested in that right now. I know what I like, and I know that Jinja is something that works really well for me. Handlebars as well. And one other thing about Go and templating is like there's really no other templating things out there. Like because Go has templating built into it, nobody's really trying to build any template. Now there are things, like don't get me wrong, before you start sending me a bunch of stuff, yes, I know about Pongo. I know that exists. I know that it's a templating engine that works with, Jinja and all that stuff. So like, I get it. I get it. Okay. I understand. However, as an engineer, whenever I can take an opportunity to learn something new, I will. Okay. Now I want anybody who's going to poke back and say, go, blah, 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 whatever. Hear me when I say, I am a streamer who also uses my streaming time as a way to learn through you guys or through other scenarios. So for me personally, there's a lot of good value here to take the opportunity to learn Rust. It's a small program, right? It's just a CLI tool that takes, it's just a CLI tool that takes a struct and like parses some files and renders it. Like it's really not that difficult, right? And so it can be built in anything. So this is a good opportunity to take something very generic and build it in something that you might want to try, right? So when we go and we look at Rust in comparison to Go, you're going to see a lot of identical traits. It builds to a binary. It's easy to maintain. It's fast and efficient. However, Rust does have a bit more of open source templating around it. There's handlebars specifically out there. There's also some Jinja libraries and stuff. And it's not going to already have opinions around templating. It's just kind of going to say, use whatever's out there, right? And because I'm beginning/learning, right, this is really what kind of closed the deal, because I am, like, again, I'm going to be real with you. This would have been built and done last stream if we had built it in Go. Like, seriously, I would have been done and built by now. Like, but I am purposely choosing to hold it, and hold it off because I really want to try Rust out. And I will say this too. At Hippo, where I work, going just one solution isn't always the best bet, right? That's something we've all kind of agreed on. That's something I've helped teach you guys too. So even though we love Go and we are starting to use Go a lot more at my company, having Rust in the back pocket could be something helpful. You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of benefit here in like job knowledge and things like that. So that's why we're choosing Rust. Okay. I think it's not only about you wanting to learn something new, right? It's also about being able to sell it in yes. Yeah. DeVito, you're entirely right. Yes. Yep. Yeah, you're entirely right. I am taking this opportunity to also see what the practical, and again, as I talk more about it, you'll notice that I compare it to my company a lot. You know what I mean? And oh, well, this is how we do it, because I'm constantly thinking, is Rust something we can use at Hippo? You know what I mean? Yo, what's up, Hayden? Have I come too late? Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm gonna program for probably like another little while, but I'm getting close to wrapping up here. So I do want to get a little bit further though, because we technically we haven't done everything I wanted to do. So don't worry, you still got time, buddy. And don't worry, we're not going anywhere just yet. So don't freak out. Thanks for answering. Yeah, yeah, of course, dude. Seriously. I love being able to talk to anybody about, and again, perspectives are something I love being able to share. You know what I mean? So absolutely. By the way, if you are new to our channel, be sure to check out our Discord. If you're interested in Nix, Go, DevOps, all that kind of stuff, seriously, I highly recommend joining our nerd home. So implement our DSL in Rust type. So what have we got so far, right? We created a, are you open to giving career advice? I am. Yeah. Okay. Let me talk to you about that really quickly. All right. I'm going to be very, very clear on the career advice thing. Every influencer is doing that right now. I am bored incredibly with what everybody's doing. I'm not saying that it's not cool content. Not what I'm saying at all. I think everybody who's doing that type of content, they're doing very cool stuff. I just don't like doing what everybody else is doing. And it is something I want to have a take on, but like I want to have a take that is, I don't know, like from my perspective. And again, like I think everybody else is doing that for sure, right? But I haven't discovered how to like give my take yet. And I'm like, that's the best way I can put it. I think everybody else in a lot of ways have kind of already discovered that in some way. Whereas like I don't know what take to talk about entirely, you know, like, so yeah, like, you know, it's just like, again, it's not something I don't want to do. I'm not trying to say I don't, but I want to have a take that's mine, you know what I mean? And a take that is true to myself. And like, for example, I got to give it to Trash. Like Trash Dev recently put out a video and he's been just like blatantly talking about his experience and stuff. And I think like, you know, I know Prime has done that. Again, a lot of people have done this already. So yeah, like I think for me, it's just like, I don't know, like I want to tweet, but I really like DevOps is such a different world than like programming is like, you know, a sport. There's so many different types of things you can do and so many different opinions and so many groups and like, but like DevOps is boring to a lot of people, I think, plain and simply because we don't care about the technology, right? Like I'm going to be real. Like if I cared about the technology, I would sink a company. As a matter of fact, any of those people like who would want a DevOps engineer would want that. You know what I mean? Because I would just focus on one thing and I would sink a company, right? My job through and through is not about the technology. It's about solving the problem the best way for the company so we can get profits, right? Like that's my job, you know? So that's the reason why, like, you know, to even for the hot takes thing, to go to like the Rust thing, you know, this is the first Rust stream we've done in a very long time because I wanted to take the time and wait before I was like, you know, like when can I wanted to do a stream with Rust that I could sit here and be like, this is a reason why you would use Rust for DevOps. And I do think that this is a good reason for it. If you're building, and like I even talked to Prime and I talked to a few other people that are friends of ours too. And I was like, I literally asked Prime one day, I was like, dude, why do you use Rust? You know what I mean? And he's like, well, right now it's still being defined, you know, but you know, I'm trying to learn to use it as like a general purpose language, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, cool. I was like, what do you feel are good that can be built in those things? I was like, CLIs, like web apps, like what do you think? And he's like, yeah, no, CLIs I think are definitely a good start of Rust because, you know, it's a very generic type of tool and you can kind of build them in anything, but Rust gives you the ability of like checking out, you know, the language and stuff. So it's like, you know, like I said, I've talked to friends about it and gotten their opinions. And again, I've talked to a lot of people about it, but for me, it was like until I had a project that I knew was really what would embody what I do at work, it's just like I'm not, you know, yeah. So I'm trying to learn how to have hot takes. I'm trying to learn how to, it's just my job is not that. You know what I mean? My job is more strategic. And again, like, you know, we wrote a whole technical document on the thing we were going to build before we build it. How many of the people out there making content creation are like really doing that? You know what I mean? It's just, it's you know, and I would say quite a few of them are, don't get me wrong. But like, again, the way I do it was like documenting. It's like, it's very there's a lot of methodology that happens before I even write code. So I'm learning. And again, I also want to differentiate. I want my own thing. I want us to do our own thing. So learning. We're learning, chat. We're learning, okay? Exactly. The content creation thing is its own. It is. And we're not trying to rush it, dude. We're really not trying to. Like, we love streaming is a massive thing. And it's a big part of what we do right now, and it still is like one of our massive loves. And so, you know, stepping into the YouTube and Twitter world and all these other things, we're doing it with our own pace, you know? I don't use Next.js, but use Remix. Nice. And my stream is like full of why not Next.js questions. Yeah, we get that all the time, dude. We get that all the time. At least you guys, at least with Rust, you can be, see, that's the thing is, it's like, I don't even know if it is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say something is fast or not until I've tried it. Like, I just, you know, so maybe you might be right. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think the part of my inner conflict is that lately part of the feedback I'm getting about myself is that ticking broad knowledge with lots of frameworks is cool, but what about T-shaped developers being more needed rather than generalists? So I always feel guilty to jump into the next one instead of specializing. Yeah, I mean, you need to be careful with tools. Like, in general, you need to be careful with tools. Tools can either help you or they can hurt you. And a big example of that is like Docker, right? Like, everybody in some way, shape, or form feels like they need to learn Docker. But like, the reality of it is not many people really do need to learn Docker. Like, what I do, yes, because I build things, I ship things, right? Like, but there are, like, you know, you can pick up a piece of technology as a front-end developer and be like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then go down this massive rabbit hole of something you don't even need to spend your time on to realize that, like, it was nothing related to what you... So it's like, that's the other side of it too for me. You know what I mean? I spent last break playing with replica CPU, RAM, anything like that, and running load tests to latency to drop. Oh, nice, Cianhorn. I like that. I've told people I don't care about the tech and get such ugly looks. You know what? I'm going to be real with you, Sack of Joy. If you're getting ugly looks from people saying that, then they clearly are only focused on the tech. Because seriously, the technology is just the problem-solving part of it. The tool, I should say, is really just the actual application of the problem solving. But like, what is it built out of? Is it performant? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many other things that, like, you know, are nuances to that. Like, I think if anybody's giving you ugly looks over that, they're laser focused on something that you're not, you know? How is the program called with the blue and orange squares? Oh, that's bottom. Yeah, it's bottom. If you're talking about this, that's bottom. Sorry, but when to say you say DevOps, what do you mean? In our company, we say DevOps mindset. You build it, you run it, essentially. So like I said, there's a front-end master's course that's going to be coming out very soon that I built, or that I did on DevOps, and I highly recommend you guys check out front-end master. Like, there's a lot of good stuff on front-end masters, guys. There's Prime's done stuff on front-end masters. There's a lot of other really, really talented engineers and teachers on front-end masters. I got lucky to do a front-end master's course. And yeah, you know, in my course, I talk about DevOps is not a role. It is not a job. It is a mindset and a mentality through and through. It absolutely is. And so when I say DevOps, I say it as a practice. I don't say it as like a, you know, it's my job to have a DevOps mindset. Yeah, but I'm technically just a senior engineer. Like, I'm just a senior software engineer. Hang on one second, guys. I think the other package might have gotten here. Yeah, it came. It arrived, chat. I'm making sure I don't dox myself. This is the platform. This is the platform, guys. Hell yeah. If you guys don't know what that is, here, let me show it to you. So I have a Moonlander, right? Moonlander. They have a new adjustment thing called the platform. I just bought it. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to actually have a bigger, like, it actually basically puts your Moonlander on this like metal platform so that you can do stuff like this. And it just got here, so I'm gonna have to mess with that. I got a couple new toys that I'm gonna be messing with today. But yeah, the platform just got here. Hell yeah, yeah! It literally just got here. Hold on, let me open it real quick. Hang on. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Yeah. So I took it. I just took it out of the UPS. So this is here. Let me focus. Hold on. Let me get my camera focused right here. Hang on. Studio monitor. And then I do gotta go, chat. We'll unbox this really quickly, and then I do gotta go, actually. Yeah, no, literally, yeah. Package arrived, stream complete. Package arrived, time to go. BG wants to play. All right, hang on. Let me focus this. Cool. All right. Describe the smell. Okay. Well, this is it. Right? This is it. Oh, do you guys like actually hear? That was great. All right, so here you go. Oh, chat, I'm an idiot. Hang on. Can I go full screen? One second, chat. There we go. Okay. So then it's got like a little flappy flap up here. I'm like trying to do this while I look at it. Okay. Oh, snap. These are heavy. Holy crap. Here are the plates. Okay. Let me pull this back. Woo! Damn, dude. This is like you could hurt somebody with this, honestly. You really could hurt somebody with this. Yeah. So that's one of the plates, basically, chat. That's one of the plates. And so the idea is that this, I guess, like, to be honest with you, I don't know entirely how this works. So I don't want to like mess it up too. Oh, there's like a thing under here. Oh, okay. So I guess there's like a screw set and stuff that goes with it. And then so basically what's going to happen is this. Here, let me unplug one of my pads. Basically what's going to happen is this. The Moonlander is going to sit right on top of this. Right? Like this. And then what happens is this enables it to go like this. And bring it up, basically. And so I'll have like a super... I mean, to be fair, actually, no, sorry. It's probably like this. Or I might be using the wrong side. I think I'm using the wrong side. But yeah, the idea is that it's going to bend it out like such. So that I'll have a much larger... See what I'm saying? So again, this will be flat on the desk, and then it's going to bring the keyboard out like that. Oh, whoops. I guess it is unlocked. Hell yeah. Well, I'm not going to be able to put it together on stream, unfortunately. You should have a yellow LED so you open the box lights, face will hold you. Yeah. I like that, Eternal Emperor. I like that. That's a good one. Here, let me go back to full screen. Or go back to the screeny screen. All right. Is it now a Mars lander? I think so, man. I think we just like gave this thing wheels. Like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, here it is. It came in today. Here it is. Hold on. Yeah, there it is. Came in today. We'll set it up. So that means, dude, I might, this camera right here, chat, there's a solid chance I'm going to actually have to move it. Like, move it back or something. Because, like, it's going to be like this, dude. Like, it's going to be up. Like, you guys are going to, I'm really going to try orienting it like this. So like you guys are really going to get to see the keyboard now as I type, which will be very cool. I am actually very excited about that. Like you guys are going to be able to see it basically like this. Oh, that's so hype. Oh, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. All right, guys. All right. Let me do one other thing really quickly. I want to make one more struct here because we technically need 2 of them, right? We have our build language, but then we also have our build template. So I'm just going to do this really fast as well. So build template. And then the templates we said that we were going to have were Pulumi, right? Pulumi, Docker, right? What were the other? We will literally see your key combos. Yeah, but I mean, I'll still have the hide. Like, I'll still have this. Right? I'll still have that. So we said Docker, Pulumi, Quirk, and recording pipeline. I think for right now, we're just going to do Docker and Pulumi because I don't know if Quirk is going to be like a Quirk front end, you know what I mean, or something, or if we'll just do front end and then have Quirk inherit that. I don't really know if that's entirely what I want to do yet. Build language doesn't implement debug. Oh, debug. My bad. Debug. Okay. And then template needs to be build template. Template. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Template. There we go. Okay, so we've got 2 enums that serialize properly now in our build config, which use those enums. Cool. Okay, so we've got our enums. Now we want to implement the Rust CLI. To be honest with you, we've kind of already done this, right? So I think actually this might be a good stopping point right here. Yeah, because we've already kind of implemented this. So if I save this really quickly and then I do Nix run, right? Like I said we do before. Let's move this over here. It will run, right? It's going to build my application. It's going to run it, right? And then it should basically just say none, I think is what it's going to do. I think it's just going to say none. Yeah, none. Okay. Prefixing build equals smell. What do you mean by that? What kind of smell? Because normally when people say smell, that means it's a bad thing. What is that? What does that mean? I mean, we could just get rid of it. Right? We could just do that. Sure. That works. Yeah, that's fine with me. Whatever. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to say C feature main added structs for DSL. Push that up. Is that lazy git? Yeah, it is lazy git. Yeah, it's one of like my favorite things. Okay, cool. So yeah, so realistically, next stream we'll start working on. Well, it depends on if I don't know if I end up streaming this weekend. Maybe we'll work some more. But basically, the next thing we need to do is we need to implement all the the CLI stuff, the command, which again, a lot of it's already here. We're using clap. We've got the generate. Like for example, again, if I do Nix run generate and then I do help. Oh wait, no, sorry. Help. Remember, it's building it when you run Nix run, so that's why it's like taking a second. Okay, so here's our help. So yeah, see here, we've already got the generate command. So if I do generate help, right? See, what's interesting is it wants Vim with arguments. Okay, so you do have to do this. There we go. Yeah, so there we go. So now you can see I'm actually getting the help for the generate command, and we do have a config on that, right? So config my config.json, right? This would be that config. However, we're not actually showing that in the output. So if we go back here, right? Manifest path config. Oh, that's interesting that we're getting none on that. I wonder why that's happening. Because I think this technically should be showing us I don't know. We'll figure that out later. But all right, guys, I got to call it here. I do have to get going. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed all the flake stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed all the DevOps stuff. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you are new to our channel, be sure to check out that little blurb right there. That's a little bit about us. Basically, we are a co-hosted channel by myself, BG, as well as my good friend Atoda. We stream multiple times throughout the week. If you ever want to catch us, I stream normally Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Though some weeks I do stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay? I might actually start like orienting or flipping back and forth between the two, where 1 week I stream for 3 days, 1 week I stream for 2, just because I have such a busy schedule. The extra like alternating there might help me. So anyways, I stream normally 8 a.m. and between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. on any of those days. And yeah, I work in DevOps. I do all these other kind of things that you guys are getting to see. This year's going to be fun, dude. I have a lot of really cool stuff planned for this year, so I'm very excited to share it with you guys. Remember, we are also working on our YouTube. We have a new, not our first, but a new YouTube video coming out at the end of this month, and it's all about Nix. I'm going to be going over the whole thing of Nix, what it is, what are each individual parts of it, how it works, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to subscribe to the YouTube. And then also, the second link is our archive. So the first link is our main YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that. The second link is our archives, and that's where you guys can see any of our VODs, where we have more content on Nix as well as other things too. So both channels have their own content related to whatever you might be interested in. Be sure to check that out. Be sure to also check out our Discord. I'm going to be real. Our community is a very active one, and it's one that is always suggesting things and asking for help and things like that. So if you want to be a part of a community that is interested in Nix, interested in DevOps, interested in programming, all that kind of stuff, feel free to join ours. We also have 2 wonderful mods named Felix and Somni who are dedicated to helping you. If you ever have a question, you're welcome to ask a question in our question forums in any of these 3, or ask them in the chats below. Outside of that, be sure to follow us on social media. Like I said, I'm getting used to Twitter. I'm not the greatest at it yet, but be sure to follow us on the Twitters to get our go live notifications and all of that good stuff too. Thank you again for all the subbies, the resubs, all the follows today. You guys are beautiful, and we love you. Tomorrow, chat, Atoda is streaming tomorrow, okay? As I said, we are a co-hosted stream, so you get to hang out with me on the weekends and on the weekdays, and on the weekends you get to hang out with Atoda. Atoda is building a really cool app called MGRC. MGRC is basically his first programming project he's ever done. So if you guys are new to programming, you guys are interested in learning, be sure to check out his stream on the weekends. And that's kind of like the vibe we have. During the weekdays, you get to hang out with me and have more advanced topics and stuff like that. And then on the weekends, you get to hang out with Atoda and see from more of a beginner's perspective how all of this craziness is. Tell you what, guys, let me find somebody to raid really quickly before we get out of here, and I will leave you guys to it. 1 second. Let's see here. You know what? I really need to, I don't know any of these people. Let's go raid Large Data Bank. We haven't raided Large Data Bank in a while. If you guys don't know him, he's a wonderful, wonderful streamer. He works on a project you might know of called CockroachDB. He actually works at the company called CockroachDB, if you've ever heard of it before. Basically, it's a distributed database, and he's always working on really cool stuff. So let's go give him a wonderful hello. Let's go say hi to him. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your day. Seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you tomorrow for Atoda's stream. And if not, I will see you next week. All right, guys, love you. Enjoy Large Data Bank stream. See you in the Discord. See you on YouTube. Okay, bye.